FOTG, the source.
Whoa, what the heck? Is it started yet or what? What the hell's going on here? Let me see. Okay, we rocking. Okay, jeez. My bad, family. I've been here for 5 minutes talking to y'all, and I go and check my thing, and y'all ain't even here. Hell no, my fault, family. Dang.
Hey yo, peace family, grand risings, good afternoon, great evening, gracious nights. Welcome back to FOTG, the source. Today, we're tapping into the Dima Tower adoptive parents murder trial. Guilty on 2 counts of first-degree murder, tonight we'll rewatch the chilling testimony that led to the devastating verdict and 2 consecutive life sentences. The defense tried to sell the jury on manslaughter. He lost his mind. He was temporarily insane. But the prosecution, led by Karen Fraveling, used Dima's own words and actions to provide premeditation. Dima confessed to the entire court. He admitted he stabbed his adopted father, Robbie Tower, in his sleep, and he also admitted that he intended to kill both parents. The crime of passion defense is shut down immediately. Jennifer Tower escaped, pounded on the neighbor's door, screaming, "I need help," but Dima wasn't done. He forced his mother back inside and made her sit on the couch. The prosecution said he delivered a monologue, a calculated moment of reflective thought before he finished what he had started, stabbing her 79 times, family. He even testified to grabbing a second knife when he broke the first one. Now, if this ain't the definition of premeditation, then I don't know what is. But the final nail in the coffin was his mentality and his escape. He openly admitted that he was boiling with rage before the attack even began, showing intent. And then after the bodies were lying dead, head to head, in the living room, what did he do? He fled. He tried to do the race. He ignored officers, led police on a high-speed chase, and wasn't found till a while later and covered in blood. Trying to do the race solidified the state's case, a guilty mind running from justice. The jury was out for a couple hours. They believed the cold hard facts of the confession over the claims of temporary insanity. This is the full trial recap of a young man who murdered the 2 people who adopted him. This is the insane case of Dima Tower. But we here to watch it. So hit that subscribe, stay locked in, tap in, share with a friend. Let's get it, family. And don't forget to hit that like button too. Let's get it!
Yeah, man, I mess around, push that start button. We was rocking and rolling. We was halfway through this intro already. Like, shoot, where everybody at? Talking to myself. What up, though? First responders in the building. I am Shout. Appreciate you, family. No one. Appreciate you. What up, though? Allie in the building. What up, though? Appreciate you. NJB Nay. What up? Appreciate y'all being here. Watch the rise, family. Let's try this again. Let's get it. Round 2.
All right, state.
Your Honor, the state is resting its case in chief.
All right, the state has rested their case in chief, so I'll turn to the defense. Mr. Gilman.
The defense calls Dima Tower.
All right, Mr. Tower, can you please stand and face the clerk? Madam Clerk, can you swear in the witness?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
You may be seated. Mr. Gilman, when you're ready.
Can you just move up a little closer and make sure you're talking in the microphone there, okay? Can you please tell us your name?
Dima James Tower.
And Mr. Tower, how old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay, and where, I noticed you have an accent. Where were you born?
I was born in Ukraine.
What part of Ukraine?
In far east part, Luhansk.
Okay.
That is borders with Russia.
Okay. And when did you come to live in the United States?
I believe I came in 2015.
So you were living in Ukraine in February of 2014 when there was an incursion into Crimea? I use a lot of big words there, I'm sorry. Were you living in Ukraine in February of 2014?
Yes.
Okay.
This right here, this is exactly where he was, because I paused it, because I was tripping off that, because I was about to start cracking jokes on him about the Ukraine talk. I mean, the way he was talking and being from Ukraine, not about the Ukraine thing, but yeah, anyway, we here. What up, Trakisha? I see you, family. Appreciate you joining. Summer Monroe, what up, though? Saying thank you for the membership. You are welcome. Not sure who gave it to you, but you are greatly appreciated. Appreciate you being here. Trakisha, Ali, appreciate y'all. No one.
And
I am shocked.
where were you living when you were in Ukraine before you came to the United States? Where were you living?
Well,
Like what type of house?
Before the orphanage?
No, I was talking about the orphanage. Tell me about that. What type of place was that?
Should I talk about my life before the orphanage, or?
We will, sure. How did you end up getting to an orphanage?
Yeah, I mean, I'll allow brief background, very, very brief, so let's not spend too much time. Okay?
Sure. And Your Honor, actually, if we could approach briefly.
You may.
Saturday night gang. I said game. GAME. It seems live over here. Let me find out this is my new family. Well, come on through. Come on through, fam. You in the right place to be. We turn up on a Tuesday and a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and on Monday.
So how old were you when your mother passed away?
Well, my mother passed away. You know, I would like to talk about, before I would start about talking about my life before my mother passed away.
I understand that.
You know,
The issue that is that I'm hoping that you can respond to the questions.
Yeah, I can respond to the questions,
Sure.
but
Okay, so your mother, how old were you when your mother passed away?
I'm somewhere between 6, 7, or 8.
Okay,
I was thinking about this somewhere between those years.
Okay.
I mean, if maybe I can.
Damn, that's crazy. He don't even know how old he was. 6, 7, or 8. That's a 3-year difference. That's a sign right there that something wrong with him. Not saying, yeah, I'm just saying like it started from a long time ago is what I'm saying.
Give a little bit of my personal background or something.
Mr. Tower, the way it's going to work the same with all witnesses. You need to listen to the question and then answer only the question that's been asked of you, okay?
Well, it's important that.
It may be important, but you need
No. No, he's sleeping.
to follow the rules in a courtroom, okay? Please ask your next question.
Sure. Were you just living only with your mom when she passed?
Yes.
Okay.
I was.
And then after that? Did you go to live?
Yes.
Okay.
I was.
And then who did you go to live with after that?
I went to live with my brother.
NJB Nene, what's good? Clearly he's not competent.
I went to live with my brother.
Okay. How long did that last for?
Maybe a couple months, so.
Okay. And then where did you go?
I went to my uncle's house.
Okay, how long did that last for?
A couple months.
And you eventually end up in the foster care system in Ukraine, correct?
Objection leading.
Yeah, I was in two orphanage or for foster care, orphanages, whatever they call that. The first one I was in before the war, and then
Objection.
I was.
Responsive.
Overruled. I think he's trying to give a time frame of when he was in the orphanage. You can answer the question.
I was in the first orphanage in that same region I was born in, the same side of Ukraine. And then when the war started, we were moved to another part of Ukraine, which is somewhere close to the sea.
Since he came from over there and came over here stabbing people up, do that make him a terrorist? Shouldn't he be labeled like a terrorist? I don't know. Just
And was it around that time that you met the Towers, that they came over to meet you?
Yes, I met him at the, I believe it was end of summer of 2013. I met him. Well, I actually met him over here after I was sent to visit for a month in the States. I flew in and met him at the airport.
Was that
for
the first time that you had met them?
It was for the first time, yes.
Okay. And how long after that do you come to this country?
Well, I also came for the second visit. That summer of 2014, I came for a second visit to meet the rest of the
He needs some milk.
family.
And then you come to live permanently when? In 2015?
Well, I was adopted right before the 2015. I was adopted that winter, and I came to live here in 2015. Yes.
Okay. Did you go to school here in Sarasota County?
y'all said I am shout said if he targeted strangers, it would be. Well, since it wasn't strangers, do that make it domestic terrorism? It's domestic.
The questions
still
that
terrorism.
you're asking me are
140 stabbings, 79 in one, and 68 for the other one, something like that. I don't know if them numbers is exact, but they right there, I'm sure.
Are very complicated, and cannot be simply answered. But I'm forced to simply answer the questions, which cannot, for no right reason, can be answered simply. These are not simple questions.
Your Honor, I object to the editorializing by this witness. Other witnesses are not allowed to have this kind of conversation with counsel.
Let's try not to have speaking objections, Counselor. I'll sustain the objection as non-responsive. Please move on, Mr. Gilman.
No speaking objections. Feel better soon, Trakisha.
Do you remember talking to law enforcement in this case and telling them that you went to Northport High School for a little while?
Yeah, I went to, right after I was adopted, I went to the school in Northport, Woodland Middle School. And then after I did a half a year in that, I enrolled in Northport High School.
Okay.
Which I dropped out of in 10th grade.
Okay. And did you know any English before you came to the United States?
No.
How did you learn English?
By conversating here and there, small talk.
All right. And how long did you live with the Towers prior to, either graduating high school or moving out?
Again, this is a complicated question, and
Objection to narrative.
the answer, it can be very long because I moved in, I moved out.
Objection to narrative.
I'm going to sustain the objection as non-responsive.
You said you dropped out after 10th grade. Did you move out after that?
No, I stayed, but I didn't really move out on my own. It's just too many family issues there.
Okay. And you were not living with them. When did you move back in with them prior to August the 31st of 2023?
I don't understand the question.
So in August of 2023, which is the incident that we're talking about, how long prior to that were you back living with the house? I know you had just moved back there, correct?
Well, yeah, I assumed that.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
I assumed that
Do you need a moment, Mr. Tower?
Come on now, dog.
Remember the jurors are
Come on, man.
Notepads face down, writing implements on top. Please don't discuss anything related to your jury. Everybody stand, jurors exiting.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
All right, Mr. Gillen, why don't you spend a moment with your client? We can't tolerate this kind of behavior here in the courtroom. I've already spoken to your client about it. So let's take a 5-minute break. Let's let the defense have an opportunity to talk to the defendant to see if he can go forward on the stand.
You're not allowed to cry on the stand. They don't want the jury feeling no sympathy for your punk. Excuse me, hold on. My bad, I had to hit that mute button. That's that powwow. Went down the wrong pipe.
yes.
Punched
You
me right in the
understand
throat.
why we're right? I can't have that kind of show of emotion in front of the jury to. And that applies to you and every other witness. You might recall I even said that about the folks in the audience. Do you recall that, Mr. Tower?
I do.
Okay. Are you able to move forward in that
I am.
direction? Okay. Also, Mr. Tower, the way a jury trial works is the attorneys, their job is to ask questions, and your role as a witness is to answer the questions that are asked of you. Do you understand?
I understand.
Okay. Mr. Gilman, anything we have to discuss before we move forward?
No, Your Honor.
You had an opportunity to talk to Mr. Tower about
I
the
did.
procedure and how we'll move forward?
I did.
All right. Anything else to discuss with the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Both sides ready to bring the jurors back in?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Let's bring the jury back in, please.
I'm sure, shoot. You say his crying was for himself for what he did. I'm sure he cry every night thinking about that shit. That's how you know he ain't crazy. If he was crazy, he wouldn't even be thinking about it. Look how he looking. He can't even put his head up. Keep your head up.
All right. Everybody may be seated. Welcome back, members of the jury.
Gotta keep your head up.
All right. Mr. Gilman, when you're ready, please continue.
All right. And Mr. Tower, I want to focus you on when you sat down and talked with the police down there in Venice. Do you remember that?
I do.
Okay. Was that the first time that you had ever had that kind of encounter with police?
Yes.
How'd that make you feel?
Awkward. Made me feel awkward.
Hold on.
Hold on one moment. I'll overrule the objection.
Okay. Why would you say it makes you feel awkward? Objection argumentative.
I was under the influence of alcohol also.
I'll sustain that it's unresponsive. He's not answering your question.
Your parents.
They were not my parents, unfortunately.
Sir?
Because
Man, hold on.
I
skipped some. Hold on.
uncomfortable talking because I had many miscommunication and
Is to ask questions, and your role with
Okay, yeah. This where we was at. My bad. I had pushed one.
members of the jury.
When you push one, it take you back to the beginning.
and how to talk. I did.
Did you feel like you answered appropriately given that you were uncomfortable?
No.
Okay. Do you remember talking with them about multiple times having thoughts of killing your parents?
Yeah, I only had those thoughts a couple times.
Okay. Did you ever have a plan in place to make that happen?
No, I did not.
I don't think I have anything further, Judge.
State the cross-examination when you're ready.
To meet the rest of the family.
And then you come to live permanently when? In 2015?
Well, I was adopted right before the
Just move a little closer and make sure you're talking in the microphone there, okay? Can you please tell us your name?
Dima Tower.
And Mr. Tower, how old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay. And where, I noticed you have an accent. Where were you born?
I flew in and met him at the airport.
Was that
for
the first time? Okay. Was that the first time that you had ever had that kind of encounter with police?
Yes.
I'm just making sure I didn't skip to the wrong spot, which I think I did.
Jury.
I think we good right here.
All right, everybody may be seated. Welcome back, members of the jury. All right, Mr. Gilman, when you're ready, please continue.
All right. And Mr. Tower, I want to focus you on when you sat down and talked with the police down there in Venice. Do you remember that?
I do.
Okay. Was that the first time that you had ever had that kind of encounter with police?
Yes.
How'd that make you feel?
Awkward. Made me feel awkward.
Like a nigger.
Hold on, one moment. I'll overrule the objection.
Okay. Why would you say it makes you feel awkward?
Because I'm uncomfortable talking because I had many miscommunication and or not communication or misunderstanding with my adopted parents. So I grew up into not knowing how to talk.
Objection, non-responsive.
Overruled. It was completing the answer. You may continue, Mr. Gilman.
So when you were talking with the police, did you understand everything that they were asking you?
I did.
Did you feel like you answered appropriately given that you were uncomfortable?
No.
Okay. Do you remember talking with them about multiple times having thoughts of killing your parents?
Yeah, I only had those thoughts a couple times.
Okay. Did you ever have a plan in place to make that happen? Talking with them about multiple times having thoughts of killing your parents?
Yeah, I only had those thoughts a couple times.
Okay.
Jury will
Did
now
you ever
go off and deliberate on guilty. That nigga is guilty. Sir, settle down. You have to go deliberate. I don't need to deliberate. Hang that nigga now. I got the rope right
Have
here.
a plan in place to make that happen?
No, I did not.
I don't think I have anything further, Judge.
State the cross-examination when you're ready.
Are you going to look me in the eye, Mr. Tower?
Nope.
That's not. So you said you didn't think about killing your parents.
I did not plan on it.
Mr. Tower,
It was not premeditated.
Mr. Tower, when I ask you a question, you can answer, but not until then. You pulled out a sharp knife and you walked into your parents' bedroom, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay. What were you thinking about between the time you took that sharp knife, walked into your parents' bedroom, and started to stab your father in the dark?
I wasn't thinking anything.
You weren't thinking anything.
What is there to think?
I don't know. Your parents were sound asleep, weren't they?
I don't know.
Was your father awake when you started to stab him?
It was pitch black.
He was laying down, his eyes was closed, but I don't know if he was asleep or not. I mean, shit, I can't see in the dark. What up, Kimberly? I see you, family. Appreciate you joining.
You picked up a knife from the kitchen and you cowardly went into your...
Argumentative.
Were your parents awake?
I don't know if they were awake. I already answered it.
Sustained.
You asked me a second time.
What did you say?
You asked me a second time, same question.
What did your father say after you stabbed him?
What the hell are you doing?
What did your father say after you stabbed him?
What the hell are you doing?
And then what happened? Did you stab him again?
Yes.
Okay, what were you thinking about between the first stab and the second stab?
There's nothing to think.
Nothing to think.
What am I supposed to think then?
Listen to me. You don't. There was nothing to think. That's your answer. All right. So you're telling me that as a human being, you walked into your father's bedroom with your mother sleeping next to him. The parents that brought you over here.
Objection, argumentative, compound question.
These people were not my parents.
Hold on. I'm going to overrule the objection. It's a bit compoundish, but I'm going to allow it. You may continue with your question.
Nothing to think. The parents that brought you over here to this country, and you weren't thinking anything.
These people were not my parents. There's a lot went on that changed our relationship.
That's not my question. My question is, are you telling this jury that you won't even look in the eye that the people who brought you over here and gave you a home, that you were stabbing them and you didn't think anything of it? Is that what you're saying?
The answer's too complicated for you.
No, it's not a complicated answer. It's a yes or it's a no.
I like that right there. How you say that name? Quintus Trower. Quintus Trower. What up, family? I see you. Appreciate you joining. My bad if I said it wrong. Blame it on my mind, not my heart.
It's not. It's a complicated answer.
You told the detectives that you were a nobody from nowhere, didn't you?
When I was talking to detectives, I was not in my completely right state of mind.
Mr. Tower, did you tell the detectives that you were a nobody from nowhere?
I just answered your question.
No, you didn't.
I said I was not in my right state of mind when I was talking to detectives. I just went on a lot, you know.
Let the jury recall what they did.
Objection, argumentative.
I was under the influence of alcohol also.
I'll sustain that it's unresponsive. He's not answering your question.
Your parents.
They were not my parents, unfortunately.
Sir, you cannot interrupt the attorney. Wait for them to finish their question, and then you can answer the question asked of you, okay? Please ask your question.
Mr. Tower, the people that brought you over here, they gave you an opportunity to be a somebody from somewhere, didn't they?
It depends on their parenting.
What?
It depends on their parenting, how you raise your children.
Depends on the what?
You don't even know what I'm talking about.
No,
Have you ever been a mother of children?
After you stabbed your father to death, you walked outside with a knife in your hand because Jennifer was outdoors, wasn't she?
I was temporarily insane.
Sir, can you please sit back on the microphone? It's difficult to
He said I was temporarily insane. You know, usually they get away with that. Usually they can do that, but you're not a regular American. Let me just say that. You're not a regular American. Because otherwise, y'all usually could use that.
hear you. Thank you.
All right. When you walked out of the house after you killed your father, did you carry the knife with you to lead Jennifer back in?
I did.
You did or did not? I can't understand.
I said I did.
You did. You took the knife with you to go out and find the person that adopted you.
Yes, I was temporarily insane, as I said.
Temporarily insane.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Members of the jury, I'm going to ask that you strike that last response. There is no insanity defense. There is no evidence presented in this trial to insanity. So I will just order that you not receive that answer. It's irrelevant, not permissible during this trial. Okay? Please ask your next question.
Thank you.
Denied.
Were you
Temporarily insane is struck down immediately. You strike that from the record. No, you was not temporarily insane, and if you was, we don't give a damn anyway, because that's not even on the table. We already passed all that. You know, you don't look like one of us. No,
you thinking about killing your mother when you went out?
You didn't shoot up a school or a church. You can only call it insane if you shoot up a school or a church.
Side with the knife and led her back in?
What do you mean by thinking?
Did your parents buy you a car?
Objection outside the scope.
Overruled.
What does that have to do with this?
Did your parents buy you a car? Answer my question.
Well, I know where your question is. I know. I
Answer
don't
my
understand.
question,
I don't
Mr.
understand the
Tower.
question. I don't understand it.
Did your parents buy you a car?
I don't understand this question.
Did your parents get you a bank card?
Yes, and I don't understand it. What,
The
what's,
truth
what's,
is
what's the
you
point of
are a liar.
this question?
Did your parents get you a bank card?
So?
Did you have a TV in your room?
No. What's the point of these questions?
You told the detectives that you were thinking about killing your parents for the last several days. Isn't that true?
That is not true.
Move for time.
What?
I'm over time.
Were you in the courtroom when your recording was played? Mr. Tower,
I was.
were you listening?
I was listening.
And did you hear that you were telling the detectives that you were thinking about that for more than a day?
Again.
You don't remember that?
Again. I did not know what I was saying. Also, I only taught this a couple of times. This was not a constant thought in my head.
Okay, so you thought about it at least a couple times before you did it?
No, I taught it one time, and the second time I taught it, I did it. There was no thinking about it.
You thought about it the first time, and then you put it off. Then you thought about it the second time, and then you went and did it. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So when you thought about it the first time, where were you?
Probably in the car somewhere.
Where in the car? Parked in front of your house?
Possibly. Very possibly.
Very possibly.
Well, I don't remember. You asking me a question that happened a long time ago. I don't remember.
Okay. Why did you ask your mother to go back inside the house?
Brought her off the street. I don't know.
Because you wanted to kill her, didn't you? Did you hear the doctor talk about how many times you stabbed your mother, Jennifer Towers, the person that you say is not your mother? How many times did you stab her?
You're talking to someone who has no understanding.
You don't understand that question?
No, you don't understand what you're saying.
How many times did you stab your mother?
I didn't know.
More than once?
No, more than once. I don't know how many times.
More than twice?
You've seen it how many times. So we were all in here. You've seen it.
Because these members of the jury have a right to hear what you have to say.
Objection, Your Honor.
They don't hear what I
Have a right to hear what you have to say. Then I don't want to say nothing. What do I have to do anything? How many times did you stab him? Shit, 60, 70? Shit, I don't know. 1, 2?
say because I'm not allowed to say.
Let's not have an argument between you and the witness. Okay, let's ask your next question, please.
These jurors are not allowed to what I have to say.
Hold on. Mr. Tower, you need to wait until the question is finished and then answer the question that's asked of you, okay? Please ask your next question.
Thank you. You told the detectives that you stabbed your mother to death, but not until you finished what you had to say to her. What did you have to say to her that night?
There was a lot went on between the three of us.
What did you say to your mother before you stabbed her to death?
I'm answering your question. You're not listening. There was a lot that went on between the three of us. It wasn't just a parents and a child.
So there was a lot that went on among the three of you, correct?
That's what I just said.
Okay.
That I'm being stopped from talking about.
How old were you when you killed Jennifer and Robbie Tower?
21.
You were a grown man, weren't you?
No, I was not. You don't know what the definition of a grown man.
At 21 years old, why didn't you just move out if you didn't like the people that you were living with? Why didn't you just move out?
The age has nothing to do with it.
Mr. Tower, why didn't you just move out if you didn't like the people you were living with?
I did move out a long time ago. I came back.
You went to West Virginia, didn't you?
Before West Virginia, I moved out. I just told you there was a lot that went on between the three of us. That the judge and the state won't let me talk.
Mr. Tower, do you believe in free will?
There's no free will. You know, we're all controlled in the states.
Mr.
Especially.
Tower, answer my question. It's a simple question. Do you believe that people have free will?
The answer, the question is not simple. If you look around, this is bigger than us.
Hey, that's a fact, though. He might be a little crazy, but that's a fact. What he's speaking right there. Do we have free will? Well, that depends on what you call free will, because obviously I don't want to be here. So how much free will do we really have? Did my parents have free will to not get Chucky? Did they have free will? Nope. He took care of that.
Fucking nuts.
When you went to live in West Virginia, how long were you up there?
I lived other places before West Virginia.
I didn't ask you about that. I asked you how long you lived in West Virginia.
Maybe 9 months, 10 months.
And what were you doing up there?
Working.
Who set you up in that place to live in West Virginia?
There was a church that I found. The pastor over there helped me.
You were living with Jennifer's father in West Virginia, weren't you?
That was a long time ago, before I went to West Virginia to live on my own.
Please answer
You
my
get it
question.
but you get
Mr.
the
Tower,
questions mixed up.
Mr. Tower, did you live with Jennifer's father in West Virginia?
That was a long time ago. That was not during the time when I went there by myself.
Why did you go to live in West Virginia when you were living with Jennifer's father?
The time that I did go to West Virginia to live with her father was because.
Because why?
I'm gonna answer. Let me think about it. We were having fights in the family, and I was gonna visit. I was gonna see him for.
Could we
maybe for a
move
couple,
away
maybe
from
for
the
a couple
microphone
months.
so we can hear?
Maybe for a couple months, I was gonna visit him until I went to Job Corps.
Yeah, who set you up in the Job Corps? Jennifer, didn't she?
What is your point?
Did Jennifer set you up in the Job Corps?
No.
Did Jennifer set you up to live with her father in West Virginia?
No. What is the point of your question?
Remember, you're under oath, Mr. Tower. You're
I
under
know
oath
I'm under
to
oath.
tell the truth.
You're making no point in your questions. You're forgetting there was
Mr. Tower, you
the
need
father.
to wait for a question to be asked of you and then answer the question, please. Please ask your next question.
You made Jennifer and Robbie's life in their home a living hell, didn't you, Mr. Tower?
Again, there was a lot that went on.
Yes.
Yes, but
Yes.
some adults don't know how to be
Yes.
parents. Yes.
You made their life a living
No,
hell.
I didn't. There's some adults don't know how to be parents. You don't know what you're talking about.
In fact,
I came from a harsh environment.
many people come from harsh
Yeah,
environment
but
and they don't feel their parents.
you gotta know how to treat those people correctly so they grow up properly.
Yeah, so how do you need to be treated?
I have been treated, and it's too late for that. I'm
What up? What up? What up? Excuse me. Aubrey, I see you. Appreciate you joining. You know, actually, I think they did mention some essay when he was younger. I think they did mention that. I didn't focus too much on it, but I do think I remember hearing that. Appreciate you joining, family.
I'm adult now, but you're talking as if you don't know how to be a parent, and you don't know what it takes.
Are you a parent?
No, I'm not a parent, but you're asking me a.
You made their life
Pointless
a
question.
living hell. In fact, your father told you that you were destroying his marriage.
If I
to
made-
his wife, isn't it true?
If I made their life a
Mr.
living hell, that's probably had something to do with them.
The two of you are just talking over each
No,
other.
he's
Ms.
refusing to
Bailey,
answer.
You're asking a question. He begins to answer, and then you add to your question. Mr. Tower, when she's speaking, you then begin to answer. And what's happening is none of us are catching the question nor the answer. So let's please follow the procedure that we've done all throughout the trial. Let's please do a question, then we'll do a pause, and then the answer. Mr. Tower, I need you to answer the question and not ad-lib and add to it. Okay, sir? Please ask your next question, Ms. Fraley.
Did your father tell you that you were disrupting his marriage to Jennifer Tower, his wife?
Jennifer told me that before the adoption, that in the beginning,
He's not responding.
I'm responding. Rob did not want to adopt at all. And then he wanted to adopt a daughter. And then finally, he agreed to adopt a son. So he didn't really want to adopt to begin with.
Mr. Tower, there was no question related to wanting to adopt other children. The question was calling for a yes or no response.
Well, he didn't really want to adopt me is what I'm saying.
Mr. Tower, if you can please listen to the question and answer yes or no. Please ask the question again.
Thank you. Did your father tell you that you were destroying his marriage to Jennifer?
I was not destroying his marriage to Jennifer.
The question, sir. The question was, did your father tell you that? Did your father tell you that, yes or no?
What do you want me to say? He doesn't know how to love his wife. What do you want me to say?
I'll sustain the objection as unresponsive. He's unable to answer. Please don't move on to your next question.
Who paid for your flights in 2013 and 2014?
As stated, at some point, I'm going to cut off all these questions about perhaps benevolent acts. You can go a bit further, but let's start to move on, okay? I'll overrule the objection. You may finish your question.
Yes. Who paid for your flights to the United States in 2013 and 2014?
This question is pointless, but however, the company who provided who had something to do with adoption did. And I don't understand what's the point of this question either.
Why did you drop out of high school?
Because I was being brainwashed, as the rest of the children are.
You dropped out of high school because you were on the verge of getting expelled, weren't you, Mr. Tower?
What expelled? You even know what they teach in schools? What are you talking about?
Mr. Tower, answer my question.
I'm answering your question. You don't know what you're saying. These schools today, they don't teach anything the kids should know. And the schools are not for everyone.
Mr. Tower, you dropped out of high school because you were on the verge of getting expelled from high school.
No, I wasn't. I'm telling you that. You ever been to school? You know that schools don't teach kids proper education.
Mr. Tower, stop talking.
I'm talking because you don't know what you're talking about.
All right, let's move on to the next question. His answer was no. Please move on to your next question.
In fact, you were about to get expelled because you were fighting with other children in the school and on the bus, weren't you, Mr. Tower?
No, I wasn't. I just told you what happened.
How old were you when you dropped out of high school?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? How old were you when you were in 10th grade?
I said I don't remember.
When you were sitting out in your car before you went into the house on the night of August 31st, did you decide to kill your parents before you walked in?
Yes.
I don't have anything else. Thank you, Your Honor.
You redirect, Mr. Gilman?
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right, we're going to take a short break, 5-minute break. Please leave your notepads turned over, face down, writing implements on top.
Getting spicy here, huh? Beyonce sources say that area had a lot of problems and it's different from anything here or anything you can imagine, allegedly. Yeah, I've heard some things about it, but you know, I can go into a lot of places that's experiencing a lot of worse experiences than what we have here, but that would be a whole nother topic, because I got, yeah. But I feel you, though. I'm rocking with you. I feel you. It's sad. It is sad. I do agree with that. You dig? But y'all know we come to have a good time and enjoy ourselves. And I appreciate y'all being here. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe, tap in, share with a friend, you dig? Alright, next up we got a little something next up. Let me get it up. There we go.
Officer, I'm showing you what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit Number 4. Will you look at that for me, please?
Yes.
Do you recognize it, sir?
Yes.
Can you tell the members of the jury what it is?
It's a recording of my dash cam video from my police car on that night.
And how do you recognize it?
Because I've reviewed it on 11/3 as well as November 12th, 2025.
Is it a true and accurate depiction of your dash cam footage on the night of August 31st into September 1st?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm offering State's Exhibit Number 4 into evidence, please.
No objection.
State's Exhibit Number 4 will be admitted. You may publish it at your leisure.
Thank you.
She in the building. What's good, family? I see you. Appreciate you joining. That boy did the race. I don't know the song,
Can you
but he
please,
did the
take a
race.
look at that? Yeah, actually, I think I turned the wrong one on. I think this should be. Sorry.
This is a video of me arriving on Malakote Road.
Are you now on Malakote Road?
That's correct.
And as we look at this, I'm going to pause that for a moment. Explain to the members of the jury what they're seeing here.
So as you were watching, you could see my high beams as well as my takedown lights that we spoke about earlier, illuminated, which brightens up the roadway. And then there you see the defendant standing behind the vehicle and then approaching the driver's side door.
Okay, and I would like you to speak up nice and loudly into the microphone so that everyone can hear you.
Yes.
Okay? All right. So now, are you able to see the defendant clearly at this point? Obviously, you can only see him from the back, but are you able to see him clearly?
Correct.
And were you able to recognize the color and the type of clothing that he was wearing?
Yes.
Now, as he reached into his pockets for, it looks like he, but as he reached into his pocket and got into his car, where were you positioned?
In my driver's seat, and then I exited my vehicle.
In which direction is the defendant driving on Malakote?
West.
Defendant got in.
I just wanted to look closer. Is that blood or he got on red? Do he got on red? I think he got on red shorts. It don't look like his top part is too bloody. I don't know. I just wanted to see that.
Was letting other officers know over the radio what I observed and that the defendant was ignoring my commands and beginning to drive away.
Can you tell us what the name of that artery, that main artery is?
Toledo Blade.
All right, what's happening here?
What we just observed was the defendant entering the southbound lane and continuing northbound in the wrong direction.
So is Toledo Blade a 4-lane highway?
Correct.
And tell us, how is it actually formulated? Does it have 2 lanes going northbound,
Correct, and 2 lanes going southbound.
separated by a strip?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right. So did the defendant just cross over and enter the southbound lane?
Yes.
Was there any other traffic that night?
Traffic was light.
But
There were other vehicles on the roadway.
Commander Brownie was also coming to the joining the pursuit.
Correct.
The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
What?
Hey, yo, family, y'all show some love. Drop some coins in the chat. Show some appreciation for Quintus Trower. Appreciate you, family. Dropping the 5 spot. Much love. Y'all show them some love in the chat. Drop them some coins and all that. Appreciate the support, family. Most definitely. Greatly appreciate it. Let me drop you a bomb and we'll get back to it. Drop a bomb for the 5. Boom. That's what I'm talking about. Appreciate you, family. Let's get back to it. All right, defendant's now back in the proper lane.
Correct.
As you continue to pursue the defendant, were you also getting reports from your fellow officers back at the crime scene?
Yes.
All right, so here we see the defendant. What did he just do?
He took an evasive maneuver to either hit or strike Sergeant Patrick Johnson or dodge his vehicle from a pit maneuver.
What's going on now, Officer Regardless?
The defendant entered the southbound lane to go onto I-75 southbound.
Just don't drop that blunt to blunt. Don't drop that blunt to blunt. All right. We ain't got to watch the whole chase now. Let's skip fast and see what's going to happen. They taking kind of long. You know, he taking his time. What's happening now? We're going left. Oh, and then what happened? Then we went right.
During this, or the
We went in a circle.
County.
at what rate
Touch
of
my
speed
toes. Touch my toes. We in the circle. What are we looking at? Flashing lights. Flashing. Lights.
Office used struck the.
All right, what's going on now?
As we spoke about earlier, the tire deflation device that the sheriff's office used struck the defendant's tires, causing him to pull over to the side of the road.
All right, so now with your laser pointer, if you would just point out the defendant's car and Sergeant Johnson's car. And obviously we can see what looks like a dashboard. Can you show us your car?
That's correct, and that's my front bumper.
Okay. So now I want you to keep your eye on the area.
The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
What?
Between the defendant's car and to the right of the defendant's car. And I'm going to turn this back on. What did we just see?
That was the defendant running into the tree line.
So the defendant got out of his car and ran into the tree line.
Correct.
Were you able to see him with your own eyes?
Yes.
Okay. And what did he do when he ran into the tree line?
He jumped over a fence, which opened up into a large field with a warehouse.
Thank you. Now, you told us that you were in communication with your fellow detectives and fellow officers back at the crime scene on 1240 Mallicote Road. I want you to tell the members of the jury, before we talk about your communications with fellow officers, what took place after the defendant abandoned his car and jumped over the fence?
Law enforcement agencies, Northport, Sarasota County Sheriff's Office, and Florida troopers began to set up a perimeter in that general area, and then we waited for K-9 officers to arrive.
All right. At this point, had you heard about the fatalities on 1240 Mallicote Road?
That's correct.
And did you also get other details about the circumstances surrounding the deaths of Robbie and Jennifer Tower?
Yes.
Okay. Did there come a time when K-9 officers from Sarasota County and Northport arrived on scene?
Yes.
Okay. Can you give us a ballpark idea of when that was?
Approximately 15 minutes after the defendant ran into the tree line.
Okay. And did you join the foot pursuit along with the K-9 officers?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us what you did with those officers?
Once we entered over the fence that the defendant was last seen, there was a large warehouse containing tractor trailers. It was completely dark out there, no lighting, so we had to conduct a thorough search of that warehouse before we could move forward.
Okay. And did you find any sign of the defendant there?
No.
Okay. All right. And the terrain, what was that like?
Very rough, tall grass, wet, small canals containing alligators that you could hear them.
All right. Okay. Did there come a time when you discontinued the K-9 search?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have further steps in this investigation, officer?
Yes.
Okay. Tell us what you did.
I returned back to my vehicle after the K-9 search and drove back to 1240 Mallicote Road to show detectives my dash cam video from my vehicle.
Okay. Who was the lead detective in the case?
Detective Eric St. Jean.
Did he review the dash cam video that the jury has just seen now?
Yes.
Including the early portions where the defendant is getting into his car?
That's correct.
Did you do anything else aside from reviewing your dash cam and body cam with Eric St. Jean in this case?
No, that's where my investigation concluded.
Okay. Have a moment, please.
You may.
The dope man then gave me the weed.
Thank you, officer. I have nothing further for you at this time.
Defense? Morning, officer. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Good. You said that the high-speed pursuit didn't begin until outside of the residential district, correct?
Not correct.
Okay. You said that he didn't begin to accelerate until he left the residential area, I believe that was your testimony, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And the residential neighborhood off Mallicote, would you consider Price a residential neighborhood?
Yes.
Okay. So Price and Toledo Blade has a Wawa at the corner, right?
Correct.
And at the time they were building the Northport Behavioral Health Unit?
I believe so.
Okay.
Behind the Wawa.
That's not a residential facility, right? It's not like apartment complexes?
No.
In fact, the only area is on, if you're heading southbound on Price, on the right-hand side is where most of the houses are, correct?
Incorrect.
If you take Toledo Blade and the direction opposite that we were just shown there, because if you're going up Toledo Blade, going up Price, you take that right on Toledo Blade, correct?
Correct.
That's where that Wawa is, right?
Correct.
And the other side is woods, correct?
Correct.
All right. And the side of the street that's woods, if you go down farther in Price, they're actually building some apartments now, right?
They've been completed for a couple years now.
Okay. But you're considering that a residential neighborhood?
Correct.
And that's Price, you would agree with me, is a main thoroughfare through Northport, correct?
Correct, with houses on
either side. And it gets more residential the further you get past Toledo Blade, correct? So you go past the Walgreens there and the Commons where the Publix is, right?
Correct. It turns into a residential
And
area.
then further past Toledo Blade is more residential, correct?
Correct.
All right. But Toledo Blade has gas stations, right?
Correct. I would consider it industrial with warehouses as well.
And the warehouses are out down towards 75, correct?
Correct.
All right. You said that there was one portion there that you believe, I think that you may mention that Mr. Tower was attempting to strike the sergeant, correct, with his vehicle?
Well, it's unknown. There was two conclusions that I announced.
Sure. You could see from that vantage point the sergeant was attempting to go in front of the vehicle, correct?
Correct.
All right. And that would be something that you are trained to do as law enforcement, right? To use your vehicle to stop other vehicles.
Correct.
Okay. And that was unsuccessful, correct?
Correct.
All right. And then when you would agree with me that there is not an exit between 179 Toledo Blade and 170 Kings Highway, correct?
Correct.
On 75. And there is also not an exit between 182 on Sumter and 191 of River Road.
Correct.
Okay. So in those two areas, would it be fair to say that 80 miles an hour is a standard speed?
I don't know how to answer that with the
Do you-
speed limit
do you-
being 70 miles per hour.
I understand the speed limit is 70 miles an hour. Have you done traffic controls in that area previously?
Correct.
And you travel that way normally, right?
Correct.
Okay. Would it be fair to say that 80 miles an hour is pretty standard from your travels in that area?
Yes.
Okay. And at no point in time did you ever come into contact and have discussions with Mr. Tower, correct?
Correct. I attempted contact, but was ignored.
Nothing for the young.
Any redirect?
Based on your background and experience, officer, is it always dangerous when a car is fleeing from police?
Yes.
How so?
You don't know what their motive is to get away, or the reason for them to flee.
Right. Is there always potential for all kinds of mayhem,
Yes.
including deaths,
That's correct.
broken bones,
Correct.
multiple cars piling up,
Correct.
people dying on the roadside?
Correct.
Damn, lady, yeah. I was about to object myself. Like, wait, what did you even talk about right now? It sounds like a horror movie.
Stay. This is the last question.
Does that include innocent people being harmed when a flight is going on?
Yes.
Okay. So whether the defendant was going 40 miles an hour or 50 miles an hour or 60 miles an hour, was he still fleeing from police
That's correct.
for over a half an hour?
Yes.
Nothing further, thank you.
Is the witness free to step down, counselors?
No objection, Judge.
All right, you may step down, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, let's see. State, we're at 11:26. Can we get another witness in before lunch?
Yes, Your Honor.
Jurors, are you okay to do another witness before lunch?
Not very tall.
Yeah. And do you remember anything about his hair?
Dirty blonde, light brown.
All right. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Defense?
Just so that I'm clear, ma'am, Ms. Snow, he was walking on the sidewalk out in front of the school, correct?
Yes.
Didn't come on the school property?
Yes, I think it would be considered the school property. We have our own parking lot so it's the Knights Trail, and then there's a sidewalk, and then there's our parking lot, and then there's another sidewalk directly in front of our school.
So the sidewalk that he was walking on was the one directly next to the road?
No,
It was the one that was, is there a fence that you have to climb over or anything to get to that sidewalk?
no,
Again, you described it as somebody just going for a walk that you didn't recognize, correct?
correct. But it was directly in front of our school. And-
Nothing further.
Any redirect?
Just going for a walk that you didn't recognize, correct?
Correct. But it was directly in front of our school. And-
Nothing further.
Any redirect?
Just briefly.
He said, nothing further. That's enough. All right. Well, before we get into the next portion, let me see why they doing that. We're going to skip through this whole trial today. I'm telling you, we just grabbing the important parts. We already did the opening statements. So if y'all missed that, you're going to have to tune into our last video from last night, I believe it was. It's all just one long episode to me. but I believe it was last night, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, State, when you're ready, you may continue with your redirect.
So just briefly, Ms. Snow, so you said that you were aware of a bolo being issued in the area of your preschool.
Yes.
Okay. So you contacted law enforcement with what you saw out of concern for just the safety of everyone in your community and your school.
Right.
Okay. No further questions.
Is the witness free to step down?
Yes.
No objection.
Okay, you may step down, ma'am. Can we get another witness in before lunch? No?
No, but can we announce on the record that Ms. Snow is excused?
Is the witness free to go, Mr. Gilman?
I have no objection.
You're free to leave, ma'am. You have no more obligation under your subpoena.
Thank you, Ms. Snow.
All right, so by saying that they can't do another witness, that's an indication to me that it's not within 30 or so minutes. So why don't we do an early lunch, folks? Can we all live with an hour and a half?
Hey, yo, peace, family. Grand risings. Good afternoon. Great evening. Gracious nights. Welcome back to FOTG, the source. Today, we're tapping into the Dima Tower adoptive parents murder trial. Guilty on 2 counts of first-degree murder, tonight we'll rewatch the chilling testimony that led to the devastating verdict and 2 consecutive life sentences. The defense tried to sell the jury on manslaughter. He lost his mind. He was temporarily insane. But the prosecution, led by Karen Fraveling, used Dima's own words and actions to provide premeditation. Dima confessed to the entire court. He admitted he stabbed his adopted father, Robbie Tower, in his sleep, and he also admitted that he intended to kill both parents. The crime of passion defense is shut down immediately. Jennifer Tower escaped, pounded on the neighbor's door, screaming, "I need help," but Dima wasn't done. He forced his mother back inside and made her sit on the couch. The prosecution said he delivered a monologue, a calculated moment of reflective thought before he finished what he had started, stabbing her 79 times, family. He even testified to grabbing a second knife when he broke the first one. Now, if this ain't the definition of premeditation, then I don't know what is. But the final nail in the coffin was his mentality and his escape. He openly admitted that he was boiling with rage before the attack even began, showing intent. And then after the bodies were lying dead, head to head, in the living room, what did he do? He fled. He tried to do the race. He ignored officers, led police on a high-speed chase, and wasn't found till a while later and covered in blood. Trying to do the race solidified the state's case, a guilty mind running from justice. The jury was out for a couple hours. They believed the cold hard facts of the confession over the claims of temporary insanity. This is the full trial recap of a young man who murdered the 2 people who adopted him. This is the insane case of Dima Tower. But we here to watch it. So hit that subscribe, stay locked in, tap in, share with a friend. Let's get it, family. And don't forget to hit that like button too. Let's get it!
Well, isn't this a nice surprise?
Hello, Ms. Rosas.
Hello.
If you can just sit up a bit closer to the microphone and speak into the microphone. Would you please tell us your full name and spell your last name?
Kay Rosas. The last name is Rosas.
Ms. Rosas, how old are you?
33. I'll be 34 tomorrow.
Okay. How long have you lived in this area?
23, 24 years.
24 years? Okay. And I want you to tell the jury, where were you employed back in September of 2023?
I was employed at Shell gas station over in Nokomis. The address is 1000 Extra Road, Nokomis.
In Nokomis?
Yeah, Shell gas station. 1000 Extra Road.
In what capacity did you work at the Shell station?
I was a manager.
Okay. And how long had you been the manager there at that?
14 years.
14? Mm-hmm. Okay. In addition to managing the store, did you also sometimes jump on the take money from customers and work the registers?
Yes.
Okay. On that particular morning, did there come a time when you were working the registers at the Shell station?
Yes, especially at 7 o'clock in the morning, between 6:30, 7 o'clock, because there was shift change.
Okay, so tell the jury what's going on at that Shell station between 6:30 and 7:30 in the morning.
People come in, grab coffee, donuts, breakfast, food. People walk in and out. It was a really busy store back then.
Okay. Is there a lot of foot traffic at the Shell station because of construction workers coming in and a lot of construction going on in that area?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
How many other people were on registers that morning, if you remember?
One.
Thank you. One in addition to you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, did you have an opportunity to review the video footage from the Shell station?
Yes.
When did you review that, Ms. Rosas?
I reviewed, there was a lot of people coming in and coming out. For everything that happened.
Your family teased you about that?
A little bit.
Okay, good. So you have a very good memory?
Yeah.
Okay. Has your family teased you about that?
A little bit.
A little bit? Okay. Are you nervous?
I'm actually, yeah.
Okay, you're doing fine. Just talk to me like I'm your friend, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, so you had an opportunity to look at the video footage from the
I'm actually, yeah.
Okay, you're doing fine. Just talk to me like I'm your friend, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, so you had an opportunity to look at the video footage from the Shell station, and did you recognize that as the interior of the Shell station where you were the manager?
Yes.
And did you recognize yourself in some of the footage
Yes.
as well? Okay. The Shell video that you reviewed this morning, is it a true and accurate depiction of what took place on September 1st of 2023 at your store?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm now offering State's Exhibit number 5 into evidence.
No legal objection.
No objection.
All right, number 5, you said?
Yes, sir.
All right, number 5 will be admitted into evidence, and you may publish it at your leisure.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Rosas, I'm going to put that on the screen behind you,
Okay.
and I'm going to use this laser pointer, and if I ask you to point something out, can you just press it? Turn it. Ms. Rosas, what are we looking at right now? I'm going to stop the video, and I want you to point out some of the features of the store. So as we look at the far, well, it would be my left, at the far left of the screen, can you please point out the front or the doorway to the Shell station?
Right there?
Yes.
That one?
Yes.
Right there.
All right. Said, talk to me nice or don't talk to me at all.
Right. Is that the main entrance to the Shell station?
No, that's the back.
The back door?
Yes.
Okay. From this angle, are you able to point out to the jury members where the actual front door of the Shell station is?
Right on this side right here, like right next to the machine right there, the lotto machine right there.
Okay. So now that we're in that area of the screen, can you show the members of the jury where where the registers are?
That one was register 1 where I was, and this is register 2.
Okay. Who is the person that's wearing the white hat and the red shirt?
That's me.
All right. So we're going to continue now. And as we're looking at the front door, I'm sorry, the back door that you pointed out to us just a few minutes ago, put your laser pointer out at that person. Okay. And do you recognize that person?
Yes.
Her memory's so good, she got teased for it. That makes her a certified memory witness, expert memory witness. She has the memory of an elephant.
Now, what area is that person walking to?
The coolers.
Is this a different camera angle showing that same person that just walked in the back door?
Yes.
When you say cooler, what items for purchase are in that cooler?
On the back coolers right there, there were that was the beer coolers. And then on this angle right here, on the back right here, there were Coke products, Pepsi products, iced tea, sweet teas, like right here where he's walking right now, where he's opening the door. That was an iced tea cooler.
Iced tea?
Yes, where all the Lipton tea, Pure Leaf, and everything was.
Now, as you watch the person that...
And like you see, he's getting a Pure Leaf tea, extra sweet.
Are you able...
So is this after? Cause didn't he have on red shorts, or did he go somewhere and change clothes? Or is that like a jacket wrapped around him? I don't know, but didn't he have on some red shorts, or was he covered in blood? Like, I don't know. Did he take a shower before he left? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, cause if you stab somebody that many times, it should be a lot of blood over your body, right?
Able to recognize that product?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So now we're back at a different angle, and show us where that person is.
He's right here, right behind the Red Bull cooler.
Okay, is he standing in line with the other men?
Yes.
Waiting to be helped?
Yes.
At the register. point, did you notice anything unusual about him?
I noticed at that point, no.
Okay.
He's behind the other guy in the back with the hat.
A waist trainer.
There he goes.
All right. Now, did you summon him over to your register, or why did he walk over?
Yeah, I call him up.
Okay.
That was my beer guy walking out, so I call him up.
Okay. All right. So, what did you notice about the defendant once he came closer to you and walked up to your register? Can you describe what you saw?
Yeah, I saw blood on his hands, and I saw dirt on his hands. And for me, and what I know for Sarasota County, you're not allowed to start working on landscaping, construction, or anything but until 8 o'clock.
Relevance?
You're not allowed to work.
Hell no. She laid out the landscaping instruction. You're not allowed to work until 8 o'clock. So I know he wasn't doing no construction. Because it wasn't even 8 yet.
Until 8 o'clock in the morning. Because there's people living around. That's what I know.
So, based upon your experience, you know that landscapers don't begin work until later in the morning because of the noise ordinance.
Yes.
Okay. All right. What else did you notice about the defendant, aside from blood on his hands and being
His look.
dirty? His what?
His look. How he looked. Like when I approach him, there, customer service is always good morning. How are you? He didn't answer back. When I thought he speaks Spanish, I tried to say it in Spanish too. There was no answer. He was always looking down. And when he handed me the money, it was kind of nervous.
Okay. All right. Let's continue for a minute.
And he paid me with a $50 bill.
All right. Now, what are you doing there?
Checking the bill.
Okay. What kind of bill did he give you?
A $50 bill.
All right. And why is it important to check $50 bills?
Because sometimes they can be fake.
But the way he talk and looking down, that's how he talk in court. It seemed like that's how he regularly talked to everybody. Like he just kind of scared. He might have been through a lot of shit. That's why he's scared to look people in the eye or scared to hold his head up. Not scared or just so used to not doing it. It's natural for him not to do it.
Now, I'm going to draw your attention to his shirt, Ms. Roses. Are you able to tell us anything distinctive that you remember about that shirt?
It was dirty. Completely dirty, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Did you say it was dirty or bloody?
Thank you, Ms. Roses. Now, did there come a time when law enforcement came to the Shell station that morning?
Yes. Like 2 minutes after he left.
All right, so almost immediately.
Yes.
The defendant walking out that door. And did you eventually speak to law enforcement that morning?
Yes, I did. I was at the office getting change because, like I say, it's the end of the night shift. So I have to go grab change for the rest of the day. And when they came in, they were asking if I see who he was, and yeah.
And were you able to explain to law enforcement, what you remembered about the events of that morning that were?
They came in and they asked me if I have seen a short guy, and I
have a what? I'm sorry.
If I have seen a short guy. Yeah, and I told them, you know how many short guys are here? Yeah. So I need a little bit more description. When they came and they told me the description that what was he wearing, I told them, yes, I sold them an iced tea.
Okay. And so you were able to verify the
Yes.
description of that person?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. May I have a moment, please?
You may.
Thank you so much, Ms. Rosas. I have nothing further.
Okay.
She was able
You
to
have the state or the
verify the
defense may
short
have some
guy.
questions for you.
Okay.
No questions, John. All right, you may step down, ma'am. Please call your next witness.
She verified the short guy.
Detective Cade Breyer.
What was the point of that anyway? Did he do something at the store, or did she witness something else, or they just wanted to prove he went to the store?
Say your full name and spell your last name.
Yes, my name is Detective Cade Ryer, last name Reyher.
And where do you work?
I currently work for the Venice Police Department.
And how long have you
Who is making these detectives nowadays?
you worked there?
I've been with the Venice Police Department for around 3 years.
What's that movie with the vampire, the teenager boy vampires?
Do you have any previous law enforcement experience?
Prior to working with the Venice Police Department, I worked for the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office as a corrections deputy.
In September of 2023, what was your position with VPD?
At that time, I was assigned as a patrol officer.
All right. Now, on September 1st of 2023, did you go into work that day?
Yes, I did.
And what time did your shift start?
My shift started at approximately 7 o'clock in the morning.
Now, when you went in, were you briefed about a wanted subject believed to be in the Venice area?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And were you tasked with your coworkers to locate that suspect?
Yes, on top of my other...
Yeah, Lost Boys. I was thinking that, but my mind kept saying, nah, that ain't it. But yeah, Lost Boys, hell yeah.
patrol officer duties, we were advised to be on the lookout for this subject and to respond promptly to any suspicious person's calls.
Now, at approximately 7:30 that morning, did your agency receive calls in reference to a suspicious man being observed that matched the subject's description?
Yes, we did.
Okay, and in what area were those sightings?
Those sightings were in the area of Knights Trail Road and Laurel Road, and also Triple Diamond Boulevard and Knights Trail Road.
Okay. Now, what did you do based on that information?
Based on the information, I responded to the area, and I began canvassing the area for the subject.
So did you end up going to a retail area near 1000 Knights Trail Road?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did you go to the business at that address?
Yes, I did. It was the Shell gas station.
Okay. Now, when you first get there, did you see anyone matching the subject's description?
Upon initial arrival, I did not.
Okay. So what did you do then?
After I canvassed around the gas station and I did not look at anybody, myself and another officer entered the gas station and spoke with the manager there to review any surveillance footage that we could see. While I was inside the gas station, I had stepped out to go to my patrol vehicle to grab something. As I was outside of the gas station in the front of it, I was approached by a citizen who advised that the subject that we were looking for and the subject that was on the news was currently behind the gas station. Okay. I gave the citizen a brief description of the subject, who he had again confirmed that it indeed was him, and then I re-entered the store.
Okay. So what did you do next?
When I went into the store, I advised my other officer that was inside that a citizen had possibly identified the wanted person behind the store.
Okay. So did you go behind the store?
Yes. Upon exiting the store, myself and my other officer, we identified a shorter white male wearing a tank top and shorts walking behind the gas station.
Okay. And what did you do when you saw him?
When we located him, I drew my agency-issued duty firearm. I pointed it at the subject, and I gave him verbal commands to get on the ground, to which he complied.
Okay. So at that point, were you able to take that subject into custody?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Did he identify himself to you?
Yes, he advised that his name was Dima.
Okay. And that individual, do you see him in the courtroom today?
Yes, I do.
Can you point to him and say an article of clothing he's wearing?
Yes. It is the white male right here wearing the long-sleeve blue shirt.
Okay. May the record reflect that he has identified the defendant?
There's two people white males wearing a long sleeve blue shirt.
The white male right here at the front table wearing with the brown hair and the long sleeve blue shirt.
All right. The record will reflect the witnesses identified the defendant.
All right. Now, were you able to review surveillance footage documenting the back of the Shell station from that day?
Yes, I was.
In reviewing the Supreme Rights Estates Exhibit 6, have you reviewed the contents of that disc?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And do those accurately depict the defendant's arrest at the Shell gas station that morning?
Yes, I do.
So they've given the evidence Exhibit 6 at this time?
Any objection to 6?
No objection.
6 will be admitted. You may publish it at your leisure.
So it might kind of get in your eyes. So can you explain to the jury, in looking at this kind of still shot of States Exhibit 6, where would we see the back door of the Shell station?
You will see the, sorry.
So there's a laser pointer in front of you.
Okay, sir. You will see the back door right here at this walkway. The door is going to be right here.
And that vehicle that we're seeing now, is that your patrol vehicle?
Yes, it is.
I'm going to pause it for a second. Can you point to the jury where a subject is walking in this video?
Currently, he's not on the screen, but he will walk this way, and then later in the video, he will walk this way as well.
Do you see him in the video now?
Yes, I do.
Now, after placing the defendant in custody, what did you do with him?
Once he was placed into custody, he was then removed from the rear of the business, and we brought him back to the front where my patrol vehicle was.
While you're walking with the defendant, did you have any substantive discussions with him other than to give him instructions?
No.
Now, after placing him in your patrol car, what did you do?
After he was placed into custody and placed in my patrol vehicle at the direction of my supervisors, he was brought back to the Venice Police Department.
And once you arrived at the Venice Police Department, did you have any other active role in this investigation?
No, I did not.
You have a moment to confer?
You may.
No further questions.
No questions, John.
All right, you may step down.
Thanks, sir.
Meatloaf, get up out of here.
State, please call your next witness.
Yes. They called Elizabeth Walker. Okay.
Oh, snap.
Tell the jury about the first assignments that you undertook.
My first assignment was to document the what appeared to be bloodstains on the driveway at 1200 Malakote Road. They appeared to go from the bottom right corner of the driveway upwards towards the front door, where I also observed what appeared to be bloodstains on the wall to the right and on the Ring doorbell on the wall, and also what appeared to be bloody foot impressions walking away from the front door and down the driveway.
Right. Did you document your observations of the bloody footprints and the bloodstains on Malakote Road?
Yes, through a diagram and photography.
Okay. Ms. Walker, I'm showing you what has been previously marked for identification as State's Exhibit number 8. Can you take a look at that for me, please?
Yes.
Is this a video that you took of the blood trail on Malakote?
Yes.
And I'm also going to show you what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit 8A. Do you recognize that as well? To 12:40.
Trigger warning.
Commander, could you go look at Stephen's Bolo and approve it? Yeah. Thank you. Have to send it to your email, please. He did. He said it to both of us.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
press pause, there's something that's blocking the video.
Yeah,
If you
I
can't
see that. I'm sorry. Okay.
Commander, can you go look at Stephen's photo and prove it? Yeah. Thank you. Send us your email, please. He did. He sent it to both of us.
Fucking nuts.
Were you able to follow the blood trail even through the grass?
It was difficult to see in the grass.
Hey, it's Fisher. Do you know anything? No, she said she's
I already told Casey.
all right. See you soon.
Ms. Walker, were there obviously bloody footprints leading towards the residence of John O. Walton and also walking away from the residence of John O. Walton towards 2040 Malakote Road?
Yes.
That what looks, and did you see any blood from the front entryway down to the road?
In the grass?
Yes, in the grass.
There was some, but the grass was wet from dew, so it was very difficult to locate.
Right. And then it appears that you documented some blood crossing past the vacant residence.
Yes.
$12.20.
Yes.
Both on the driveway
Yes.
and then later.
New track out right now by No One. Go check it out. Hit that like button. Appreciate you, family. Official.
On the paved area of Malaco Road.
Yes.
Were you able to tell by the naked eye in which direction the bleeding person was walking for the blood drops and the blood stains in the driveway?
In this driveway, it appeared that the movement of the person bleeding would have been from east to west.
And what about the blood drops that we see on the paved road between 1220 and 1200?
That motion was a little bit more difficult to determine along the roadway because of the texture of the roadway, and also possibility of the person bleeding was moving slower, so it was more of a drip than it was a faster motion.
Okay. So were you able to tell, based upon those blood drops, that they were different in some way? For example, the blood drops on 1220 in the driveway as opposed to the blood drops on the paved area of Malaco Road?
Yes.
And what was the distinction that you observed?
It was pretty apparent that this movement was from east to west at a pretty rapid pace, and this was presumably going back the other way, but at a slower pace.
Much slower pace. All right, thank you. Did you have further assignment on September 1st, in addition to video recording the blood droplets and beginning to prepare a diagram?
I further documented the bloodstains on the address of 1220 Malacote Road across the driveway.
Okay. Did there come a time when a search was conducted of the premises of 1240 Malacote Road, the Tower residence?
Yes, at approximately 3:45 a.m., I was notified that a residential search warrant had been obtained for 1240.
Okay. Did you participate, after the search warrant was executed, did you participate in the search or documentation of items of evidence in that residence?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did you prepare a diagram of the interior of the residence?
Yes, diagram and photography inside.
Can you tell us what we see in this photograph?
This is a photograph of the exterior front of 1240 Malacote Road.
Okay. 7B.
Also of the front exterior of 1240 with the side garage door open.
All right. 7C.
This is the front entry and walkway of 1240 Malacote. This is the front door.
7D.
Is also another photo of the front door.
Okay. Could you please point out the blood drops at the bottom of the door?
There's blood coming down the door and drips on the step.
Let's look next at State's Exhibit 7E.
And again, the front door with blood in this area and dripping down.
So now we're going to look at the interior of the residence. And let's start with State's Exhibit 7F. Can you tell us in which room?
Come on now, dog.
This is the living room.
Come on, man.
And what do we see here in this photograph?
This is the living room floor. This is the male decedent, female decedent, a cell phone here, excessive amounts of blood on each of the couches here. This is the doorway going into the master bedroom. And the front door is over here.
Is this the way the scene?
142. I'm gonna have to remember that. I might have to go back and get that real picture.
Exactly the way the scene looked upon entry by Northport Police Department and crime scene technicians.
Yes.
We're going to look at State's Exhibit 7G. And if you could just point out the, in order to orient the jurors, can you point out where the front door is, please?
The front door is right here.
Next, we're going to look at State's Exhibit 7I. Pardon. 7H. And again, in order to orient the members of the jury, if you could please point out, and we'll go back and forth between these two photographs, Mr. Tower, legs, and then Mr. Tower's legs near that love seat or couch in the residence and the front door. And finally, in this series of photographs, 7J. Now, although this piece of furniture looks similar, is it different from the piece of furniture that we looked at in the last photograph, 7I?
Yes, it was on a wall where there was a sliding glass door behind it.
I'm sorry?
It was along a wall where there was a sliding glass door.
What I'm asking you is this piece of furniture different from this piece of furniture?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I talked to you earlier about a diagram that you produced. Can you please take a look at this for us, please? Do you recognize that?
Yes.
Is this a diagram that you produced based upon your investigation at 1240 Mellicote Road?
Yes.
And is it a true and accurate depiction to the best of your ability of the crime scene that day?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, I'm offering State's Exhibit 9 into evidence, please.
Any objection?
No objection.
9 will be admitted. You may publish it at your leisure.
Thank you. Ms. Walker,
Front doors right here.
where do they appear on this floor plan?
Right here and right here.
And we see a lot of red near
Right corner.
shows room.
Be admitted.
And behind,
okay.
While we have them both now in the same photograph, that love seat that you described as being against a sliding glass door.
That love seat is right here.
Thank you. Let's look next at State's Exhibit 14B. And you're going to have to tell us in which room are we looking now?
This is inside the master bedroom.
Okay, so let's switch between the two photographs. And we're going to look at 14A and then 14B. Show us that wall that goes into the bedroom.
It's just on the other side of this door jamb.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. All right. 14C.
This is a little bit further into the master bedroom, still turning to the right into the doorway.
14D.
This is the corner of the bed and a dresser that was along the north wall.
Okay. Is that the foot of the bed that was either that brown leather or?
Yes. This is like an ottoman, and this is the corner of the bed.
Were you able, through your investigation, to determine whose side of the bed this is that we're looking at here with the blood?
I don't know that.
Okay. Just we're now looking at 14L. This blood smear that we see on the north wall of the bedroom, is it also accompanied?
Damn, rock solid TV. What up, family? Shit, I'm trying to keep this
Yes,
thing
there's
moving.
smaller.
They
that
got
nightstand
blood
that we saw
everywhere.
in the previous picture. Did there come a time when evidence was found?
That's how you would expect it to have looked with what's her name we just covered, Devin Michaels. That's how we would expect the house to look.
That nightstand.
Yes.
Did you discover that evidence yourself, or did someone in the Northport Police Department that was searching the house discover that evidence?
It was a detective that located it.
Okay. And that is 14L, but we're going to look at a closer photograph. Is this the item of evidence that was found behind the nightstand in the master bedroom?
Yes.
And why is it that you have an evidence marker there, a yellow plastic number 10? What's the purpose of doing that in crime scene investigation?
To identify items of evidence in a methodical manner, so each item would be assigned a number.
And did you use those markers that you set out in the crime scene when you were preparing that diagram so that you could include items of evidence that were relevant to the case in that floor plan that we saw just a few moments ago?
Yes.
They should have held that picture up next to the other picture. Like, look, this is how it looks, jury, when you do that in this area and you're not a professional. This is what happened. Talking about it was all saved by a bucket. We saw a bucket outline that they never showed. And they never showed the murder weapon. If she killed him with the log, why they never showed the log? The stick. Probably a little toothpick stick.
State's exhibit number 15 and state's exhibit number 16. Do you recognize state's exhibit 50?
Yes.
How do you recognize it?
It's packaged in a way that we package knives, and it has our barcode label and case number on it.
Okay, is your identification on there?
To be
Significance in the kitchen area.
Yes, we observed what appeared to be diluted blood stains around the countertop, around the sink, kind of down the front of the cabinets here. There was some also on the front of the dishwasher, and a towel that appeared to have blood on it as well.
Okay. Is there also a group of knives that were readily apparent when you walked into the kitchen?
Yes, there's a knife block here.
Let's look next at 17C, and you told us that you saw some evidence of cleanup. Can you show the members of the jury what we're looking for here?
There's diluted blood here and around the right side.
And at this point, has that knife block been removed from that area?
Yes.
So the knife block was, show us again. The knife block was there, but now has it been collected as evidence? Is this no longer on the sink?
That's correct.
Okay. Let's look finally at State's Exhibit 17D. And what do we see in this photograph that's significant?
Diluted blood here and the towel with what appeared to be blood on it as well.
Okay, so you say blood. Is there any way that you test for what appears to be blood so that you know it takes you a little bit closer to the realization that it's actually blood?
Yes.
Tell the jury how you do that.
There's a presumptive test called phenolphthalein that will identify when there's blood present versus just a reddish stain.
Okay. So how does phenolphthalein?
Yes.
Phenolphthalein, how does that work specifically? A chemical reaction?
It is a chemical reaction. It's a 3-step process utilizing a swab that's moistened, and you rub the stain that you're wanting to test, and then you apply 2 more chemicals, and it will give a reaction that's pink if it's positive.
And in this particular case, did you use that phenolphthalein to test for presumptive blood on the towel and the area surrounding the sink?
We did not.
Why?
There wasn't a question in the way that the scene was presented to us, and it was somewhat irrelevant. If the towel needed to be further tested, it could be done in a lab as well.
All right, thank you.
I am Shout said, I don't think she said she hit him until the police told her that. Yeah, you gotta be careful going in that confessional. Ain't no telling what they pull up out of you. Even stuff you don't even agree to.
It's in this gloves on and there's one knife that was a bit different from when you collected it. What is the difference?
There's one knife that was down here that's not in the block.
Okay. Put that down, and then we're going to look at what's been marked for identification in State's Exhibit number 22. So I'm showing you State's Exhibit 22 for identification, and I want to ask you if you recognize that item.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Is it in the same or substantially the same condition as when you collected it from the crime scene at 1240 Malaco?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm offering States 22 into evidence, please.
Any objection?
No objection.
22 would be admitted. You may publish it.
Thank you. Okay, and if you could just stand up and show that to the jury. I think I may ask the dealer to do that as well. You may be seated. So this knife that you found in the knife block, is it similar to the knife that was found behind the nightstand in the master bedroom?
Yes.
How similar?
The handles are both silver metal, and the blade is serrated.
Is it virtually identical to the knife that was found behind the nightstand?
Yes.
Well, we still have these gloves on. I'm going to ask you to put that back in the box, please. Now, in the photographs that we looked at just a few moments ago, in State's Exhibit number 17D, we talked about a towel, a white towel that was found on the countertop in the kitchen. Did you collect that and put it into evidence at the Northport Police Department?
Yes.
Now show you the marks of identification. In State's Exhibit number 20. Do you recognize that item? This one.
Yes.
Is this the item that you collected from the countertop in the kitchen that we just saw in the photograph 17B?
Yes.
Is it in the same or substantially the same condition as when you collected it
Yes.
in the kitchen? Your Honor, I'm now offering states 20 into evidence, please.
Any objection?
No objection.
20 will be admitted. You may publish.
Thank you.
What are those?
Did there come a time when the medical examiner arrived on the scene?
Yes.
Did you assist the medical examiner in any way?
Yes, I assisted with an examination of the decedents as well as additional photography of their injuries.
And is that something that you routinely do at a homicide scene such as this when the medical examiner comes?
Yes.
All right. And in this case, the victims were lying prone or face down when you first encountered their bodies?
Yes, that's correct.
And was it important for the medical examiner to turn over the bodies specifically for identification, but also to identify the wounds inflicted?
Yes.
I'm now showing you what have been marked for identification as 19A and 19B. Do you recognize those photos?
Yes.
Are they a true and accurate depiction of the decedents after Dr. Vega arrived on scene and you assisted him in further investigation?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm offering 19A and 19B into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, 19A and 19B will be admitted. Where are we in terms of timing on this witness?
Close to completion.
Okay. Jurors, are you okay to continue, or do you want a break? We've been going for about an hour and a half. I know it was after lunch. You folks okay? We'll take one after this witness. Okay, let's continue then. You may publish them at your leisure.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now looking at State's Exhibit 19A. And is this Jennifer Tower?
Yes, it is.
Now, we see now that there is a little difference in the scene. We have a white sheet lying under a fence tower. Is that something that the medical examiner routinely does when he or she comes to the scene to begin their preliminary examination?
Yes.
And was Ms. Tower's body transported from the scene to the morgue at some point that day on September 1st?
Yes.
Let's look now at State's Exhibit 19B. And again, Mr. Tower is lying on a white sheet. Is that part of the medical examiner's protocol?
Yes.
Was his body subsequently removed from the scene and taken to the morgue?
Yes.
For autopsy?
Mm-hmm.
The jury room with you, okay?
How are you?
No.
Good. And you have been a crime scene technician for North Portville Police Department for how long now?
Approximately 6.5 years.
Okay. And most of the time when crime scene technicians are called out, it's to assist detectives in investigation, correct?
That's correct.
And you said you got there about 2:20 in the morning on September the 1st?
Yes, that's correct.
So were you working like an overnight shift, or did they call you out specifically from home?
I was called out. I was on call that evening.
Okay, so there's not a situation where you have crime scene technicians 24/7 at Northport Police Department?
Correct. Not at our agency.
Okay. Now, when you were going through the video following the blood trail, you weren't doing that for any kind of speed, correct?
Correct.
You were doing that to make sure that you got a full documentation, right?
Correct.
So we don't know if the amount of time it took on that video is the same amount of time it took for the person to travel that distance, correct?
Correct.
All right. And it's not meant to be the most efficient path, right? You were just following the path, correct?
Yes.
All right. Now, you say at 3:45 in the morning you get a search warrant for the residence, correct?
Yes.
And that was the detectives are the ones that authored all that and get all that together, correct?
That's right.
And usually at that point in time, they're the ones that are doing the search, right?
Yes.
And then you are going along to document the things that they are locating, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And there were 2 knives that we have seen that were collected, correct?
That's correct.
You would agree with me that you treated those 2 knives differently, right?
I don't understand the question.
Well, one of them was packaged and sent off to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, right?
All of the knives were sent to FDLE.
And only one of them had pictures that you took of blood on it, correct?
There was one.
I'm going to object because this witness is not qualified to talk about what was found on those. That comes through the FDLE.
All right, it's cross-examination. There's some photos. She pointed out some blood, so I think she can answer the question. You can answer the question.
Sure. So the knife that was taken from the knife block, you took extra photographs of that, correct?
That was done by another crime scene technician.
Okay, but that still was done at Northport Police Department, right?
Yes.
And there were close-ups, and you pointed out there were blood droplets on that knife, correct?
Yes, what appeared to be.
Okay, and the other knife that was found in the bedroom, correct?
Yes.
Did not have those same photographs taken.
I can't speak for that because I didn't take the lab photos.
But you took a photograph of it when it was collected, right?
Yes, when it was collected, yes.
And that knife was not depicted in the lab photos, correct?
The lab photos are a completely separate series of photographs that I did not take. So I can't speak for if there was a specific lab photo of that knife taken.
All right. And when you're doing this collection at 3:45 in the morning, you've been informed at this point, at least detectives have, that there has been a suspect, correct?
Yes.
You knew that somebody was seen leaving the area?
Yes.
And that law enforcement was after them?
Yes.
Okay. Nothing further, Jim.
Can you redirect?
Yes.
Quarter panel and on the hood.
Is a fair and accurate depiction of the vehicle and its contents on the day that you assisted with the execution of the search warrant?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, at this time, the state moves into evidence states 28A through 28J.
No objection.
28A through 28J will be admitted. You may publish them at your leisure.
So we're briefly going to go through these photographs one at a time, and I'm going to publish them by way of a copy on the projector. Alrighty. So can you describe for the jury the condition of the exterior of the vehicle when you examined it?
The exterior of the vehicle was dirty. There was scratches, dents, paint was chipped. There was damage throughout the vehicle.
Alrighty. So we're looking at 28B. Can you tell the jury something about the tires that we're looking at in this image?
The passenger side, both tires are flat.
Now 28C, which angle are we looking at here?
This is the passenger side, more towards the front quarter panel.
And do you see any damage?
Just dirt.
That would be
What
the
side is
right
this?
front, the right left, excuse me, the right left side, front.
Okay, all right. Damage?
Just dirt.
And what side is this?
This is also the passenger side. This is at the front quarter panel. There is damage on the hood and on the front quarter panel.
Publishing 28E. And what part of the vehicle are we looking at here?
This is the driver's side, front quarter panel.
And describe the damage you see.
There is damage to the actual quarter panel and on the hood.
Now 28F, what are we looking at here?
This is the driver's side interior of the vehicle.
So did you notice dirt and other particles inside the vehicle during the search?
Yes, I did.
That would be the
Now-
right front, The right, left, excuse me, the right, left side. Front.
Okay, all right. In looking from this view of the vehicle, can you explain for the jury, did detectives locate anything towards the passenger side?
Yes, they did.
You can use the pointer.
Can you tell me how, which?
Absolutely.
Oh, I found it.
Okay.
Sorry. In between the driver's seat and the passenger seat, this is the center console area. In between the passenger seat and the center console at the floorboard was a wallet.
Permission to approach the witness?
You may.
I'm showing you a pre-marked identification that states Exhibit 29. Can you take a look at this?
Okay.
Do you recognize this?
Yes.
And what is it?
This is the wallet that I collected as evidence.
From your search of the vehicle?
Yes.
The state movement evidence states 29.
Any objection?
No objection.
29 will be admitted. You may publish at your leisure.
All right, so this is a photograph you took of that same wallet when you were doing your examination.
Yes, it is.
And that's 28G for the record. And were the contents of the wallet removed?
Yes, they were.
Okay, and this is 28H for the record. And was anything linking the defendant in this case, Mr. Dima Tower, located on those bank cards?
Yes, the top card, the Capital One debit card, on the back it had Dima Tower on it.
This is 28I for the record. Now, what are we looking at here?
This is the Department of Transportation. It's the state of West Virginia. Information on the Chevrolet Sonic.
And where was this located in the vehicle?
In the glove compartment.
Thank you. And now 28J, what are we looking at here?
This is the Florida driver's license of Dima Tower.
And where was this driver's license located?
In the glove compartment.
Again, approaching the witness. Was this driver's license also collected in evidence?
Yes, it was.
Okay. I'm showing you a pre-marked for identification as Stace 30. Can you take a look at this?
Mm-hmm.
And is this the driver's license that you collected and placed into evidence from the search of the vehicle?
Yes, it is.
All right. At this time, the state would move into evidence, State's Exhibit 30.
Any objection?
No objection.
30 will be admitted. You may publish at your leisure. Instruction as it relates. So this is count one. This is with Jennifer Tower as the alleged victim.
No objection, Your Honor.
Homicide case. Again, in this case, we had the defendant was indicted on 2 counts of first-degree murder. I granted the state's motion to consolidate those 2 counts with the fleeing to elude. Because he was indicted with first-degree murder, the second-degree murder charges that were initially filed were declined. I think there was a written order to that effect, not order, but motion by this memo by the state. Is that right, Emily? Did Ms. Frabley bring something over to you on Wednesday on the second-degree murder charges?
Yes, but I believe there needs to be further
Further clarification.
clarification.
Okay. So these.
Oh, it was clarified. Yes.
It was clarified. All right. So these appear to me to be the statement of the charges that court allowed to go forward on. Count 1 is murder in the first degree. The state identified Mr. Gilman.
I'm so high right now, y'all. I'm about to go to sleep on y'all now.
To make 1 and 2 unique, they put in the alleged victim.
Yes, Your Honor.
I think that's appropriate. Do you have any objection to that?
I do not.
And then count 3 is fleeing to elude. They also inserted here to identify it, siren and lights activated. Again, we'll get to that later, but they're lesser included. So I think that's appropriate. Any objection to the statement of charges page?
No, Your Honor.
All right, next we have 7.1, Introduction to Homicide. Unless expressly waived by both parties, this must be read in all homicide cases. I've reviewed it. The state just inserted the correct pronouns. They do have, Mr. Gilman, both lesser included counts of murder in the second degree and manslaughter inserted. And they have the defendant's name, Dima Tower, inserted as well. It appears to me, as I went through it and compared it to our Supreme Court version, that it's legally accurate. Do either side have any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, next.
Y'all catch that? Why would he even mention that? If it wasn't a thing, why would you even have to mention this capital letter, small case letters? Why would the judge request to change the names back to capital, and then they sit there and hesitated like, no, it's fine, because y'all didn't want to really talk about why you really did it, because it probably would have lost you the case.
We have 7.2, objection. But compared it to our same Dima Tower and manslaughter. They do have, Mr. Gilman, both lesser included counts of murder in the second degree and manslaughter inserted. And they have the defendant's name, Dima Tower inserted as well. It appears to me, as I went through it and compared it to our Supreme Court version, that it's legally accurate. Do either side have any objection? All right, so we're ready to proceed. All right, State, please call your next witness.
State calls Charlene Webster.
Charlene.
All right, everybody stand right here, face the clerk, raise your right hand.
You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Okay, now, you raise your hand up there.
Morning. State, when you're ready, you may proceed.
Thank you.
Hello, Ms. Webster.
Hello.
Will you please tell us your full name and spell your last name?
Yes, my name is Charlene Webster. Last name is spelled W-E-B-S-T-E-R.
How are you employed, Ms. Webster?
I am a senior crime laboratory analyst with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement at the
Come on home to me, Charlene.
Tampa Bay Regional Operations Center in the biology section.
How long have you worked for the Florida Department of Law Enforcement?
Since December of 2009.
Will you tell the members of the jury about your formal education, please?
I have a Bachelor of Arts in Anthropology and a Bachelor of Science in Biochemistry from the University of Miami. I also hold a Master of Science in Pharmacy with a concentration in Forensic DNA and Serology from the University of Florida.
Thank you. Will you also tell us a little bit about the duties and responsibilities of a senior crime lab analyst?
Yes. As an analyst, I examine items of evidence for the presence of body fluids such as blood, semen, or saliva. I also examine them for any skin cells that may be present from items that may have been handled, touched, or worn. I will take samplings of those items of evidence to try to develop a DNA profile that I can then compare to the DNA profiles of known individuals that are believed to be involved in the case. I will put a statistical weight if I'm able to do that and produce a report.
What is DNA?
DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. It is the genetic blueprint for life, and it makes us who we are. Your DNA profile is unique, except in the case of identical twins. You inherit half of your DNA from your biological mother and the other half from your biological father. Your DNA is found all throughout your body, so except for mature red blood cells, and your DNA doesn't change over your life. So the DNA I would find in your hair would be the same DNA I would expect to find in your blood.
What method of DNA analysis do you use up at the Florida Department of Law Enforcement's office in Tampa?
We use STR testing, which stands for short tandem repeats. And STRs are just small segments that are found throughout the DNA. The number of times those repeating segments are observed varies from individuals. And as I mentioned earlier, since you get half from your mother and half from your father, the number of repeats you get from each person would vary. That process is done in 4 steps. So what I'm going to try to do in the first step is I'm going to take that sample of the evidence and I'm going to place it in a tube. I'm going to add some liquid and some heat. And the purpose of that is just to try to break open those cells so they can release the DNA so I can see what's available to me. The second step is then now to make many copies of the 21 locations on the DNA strand that I'm actually looking at. And I'm trying to make those copies so that way I can get a better idea of the DNA profile. The third step is now, the second step I misspoke was determining how much DNA I actually have present. Once I opened up those cells, how much DNA is available to me. The third step is making millions of copies of the 21 locations on the DNA strand that I'm looking at. And then the last step is just separating those copied DNA by size. So that way I end up with peaks on a graph, much like an EKG. And those peaks are your DNA profile for each of the 21 areas of the DNA I'm looking at.
That method.
My bad, family, man. I was looking for this other stuff, but it's crazy. In the 3 days, I don't see it inside the thing, but I see it here. And it say a day ago. That's crazy. Well, let's get into that. Because we already know about DNA. At this point, we all DNA experts. As many trials as we didn't watch, we all whisper.
Never get enough. Never get enough. Never get enough.
We all DNA experts.
Look at this, Mr. Talent.
Cartoons and hood movies. This is the
afternoon, Mr.
father
Talent.
of the victims.
Can
One
you
of the
please tell us-
victims. This is their dad. This is their pappy.
What's your full name and spell your last name?
Philip Tower, Tower.
Okay. Would you like to address the court?
The court?
And
No particular way.
Right. You're
Whatever
gonna
it is that you
yeah.
want to say, sir.
Oh, I just want to talk to Dima.
Hold on.
No.
Whatever it is that you wish to say.
He said, "I want to talk to
direct it at
Dima."
me.
Oh, okay.
You can tell me what you want to say and what you want me to know. This is a sentencing where you can give the court input, okay?
Okay.
Of course, Mr. Tower, the defendant is the courtroom and will hear what you have to say, okay?
Right. I just wanted the court to know that Dima didn't just...
Robbie's dad. There you go. Yeah, you right. It got to be the male because they all got the same last name, so that should have been easy to recognize, huh? Of course, it's his dad.
He didn't just kill Robbie and Jennifer. He killed a part of all of us. And there isn't a person over there that doesn't hate him, and we want him to suffer. And I just like one more thing to say. I have a lot of things to say, but you probably wouldn't like it. I want him to, when he's Dima, look at me.
No, sir, you go ahead and direct your comments to me, okay?
I would like him to change his name while he's in jail. I don't want him to use my name anymore. I don't want him to be associated with us. And a lot of things I want to say to you, to him.
Take your
I
time.
don't believe you'd allow it, so I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't think I could go any further than
I don't know, Ms. Fablik, if you wanted to ask him any questions.
No, Mr. Tower, this is really a chance to talk about your loss and
What Jennifer and Robbie meant to you and the loss in your life. So I think that's better than right now retribution because the judge will take care of that.
Yeah, I understand. I can't put into words.
Why don't you tell me this? How is Jennifer or Robbie related to you?
Robbie's my son.
Your son?
Yes.
Tell me about your son and your daughter-in-law.
Well, they were just great people. They were honest. They were religious. Cared about everybody. They would give you the shirt off their back. They'd help you. They were big in the church. They went on pilgrimages. You know what I'm saying? They went to different pilgrimages, whatever. They went, and that's how they met Dima. They just wanted to help somebody. They couldn't have children of their own. They saw Dima. They figured they'd give him a chance at life. And that's how we repaid them. There isn't anybody that didn't like them. And it's just a total waste of good people.
Jury will now go off and deliberate on.
I don't know what else I can say that
Sir,
them up
settle down.
a total waste.
I don't need to deliberate. Hang that nigga now.
And
I got the rope right here.
there isn't anybody that didn't like them. And it's just a total waste of good people. I don't know what else I can say that build them up any more than that. I don't have to. We'll miss it.
Thank you, Mr. Tower.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tower.
Take your time.
Thank you.
The state would like to call Michael Burgoon.
Oh, poor little Tink Tink. That is crazy, though. They do got the death penalty out there. I thought they didn't have it in Florida, but they do got it out in Florida. So, that's pretty crazy. Is this,
But let's continue where I left off. So what we have to focus on are the instructions, the law, and the evidence in this case. And you have those instructions in front of you, but I have the elements of first-degree murder up on the screen. So to prove the crime of first-degree premeditated murder, the charge that the state has laid against the defendant, actually 2 counts, but I incorporated both Jennifer and Robbie Tower into this instruction. To prove the crime of first-degree murder, the state has to prove the following 3 elements beyond a reasonable doubt. Jennifer and Robbie Tower are dead. There's no question about that. It's uncontested. Their deaths were caused by the criminal acts of Dima Tower. Again, uncontested. Not only do we have all the physical evidence in this case,
the knives, the fact that the defendant was covered in blood, the fact that he fled, but we also have his own words. He told the detectives who interviewed him that he killed his parents. So we know that their deaths were caused by Dima Tower, and obviously they were criminal acts because he stabbed them to death. That's a crime. Finally, there was a premeditated killing of Jennifer Tower and Robbie Tower. And how do we know that? We know that because the defendant told us so himself, over and over and over. Yesterday afternoon, on the stand, he told you that himself. Repeatedly to the detectives, and then again, right here in the courtroom where you're sitting today. So let's talk a little bit about premeditation and the definition. Now, back on Monday, I was asking you a lot of questions about what factors should you think about when we're talking about premeditation, and you probably thought, what is this woman talking about? Because you didn't have the facts. You didn't know what went on in this particular case. And I was asking you questions about what would a person do before committing a premeditated act if you didn't know what was going on in their mind, but you had to look at their actions and determine what was premeditation. We talked about what would a person do while the crime was being committed that would signal premeditation. And we talked about what would a person do after the crime was committed to signal premeditation. And let's think about what we learned in the last 3 days. What did the defendant do before he committed this crime? He chose his weapon from the knife block in the kitchen, and he took it into the bedroom. He armed himself before the encounter with his parents. All of that leaves plenty of time for reflection, for reflective thought. And we also talked about if there are prior difficulties between the parties, does that lend itself to thinking about premeditation? If someone is already angry, and as the defendant said, boiling with rage, does that lend itself to premeditation? Is that one of the factors you should consider? And I would suggest that it is. And then what did the defendant do at the time he was committing the crime, when he was stabbing his parents by a conservative estimate 140 times? We talked about, do the nature of the wounds that are being inflicted, do they show that the defendant had a conscious intent to kill? Well, we know the kind of wounds that he inflicted on the tracheas of both parents and on the multiple stab wounds, especially to the face, the head, the back of the neck, especially the throat, the carotid arteries, and the jugular veins, the most vulnerable, tender part of any human being. We also talked about, is it important to consider the number of wounds inflicted? And we know that there were, again, over 140 wounds, 79 to Robbie and, 79 to Jennifer and more than 68 to Robbie. What else at the time that the crime is being committed signals that this was premeditated? What about the fact that when he lost the first knife, he went back into the kitchen and got himself another knife so that he could, as he said, finish what he started? Because he started it deliberately and consciously, and he wanted to finish that job. And so he armed himself with another weapon. What else did he do during the crime that shows premeditation? After he killed his father, he walked outdoors, and yesterday he told us that he had the knife in his hand when he went outside. And he led his mother back into the death scene and sat her on the couch and, in his own words, delivered a manifesto. He said it was a monologue. And all the time she's sitting there and he is planning to kill her. There is no other way to think about it. What else did we talk about during jury selection? We talked about what might signal premeditation after the crime is committed. We know that the defendant washed the second knife and placed it back in the knife block because it was collected as evidence, and we can actually see the little bit of blood in a close-up photo. It was also sent to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and Ms. Webster told you that there was presumptive blood on both weapons. After he took the knife and placed it back in the knife block after he gave it a cursory wash, he fled from the police. You saw 30 long minutes. It's probably boring, but I thought it was important to impress upon you just how long it took for the police to apprehend the defendant. How long he consciously fled from the police and showed a consciousness of guilt because he knew what he did was wrong. And we know that finally, when he was apprehended, he gave a full admission to consciously deciding to kill. That's premeditation all day long. So let's look at the instructions. Killing with premeditation is killing after consciously deciding to do so. The decision must be present in the mind at the time of the killing. The law doesn't fix the exact period of time that must pass between forming the premeditated intent to kill and the actual killing. But the period of time has to be long enough to allow reflection, long enough for the mind to come up with the idea, the plan, the decision, whatever you want to call it. Long enough to allow reflection by the defendant, and it has to be formed before the killing actually takes place. The question of premeditation is a question for you. It's a question that you have to answer based upon what you heard these last 3 days in the courtroom and the evidence that you've seen. And only you can decide if this was a premeditated act. It's sufficient proof of premeditation if the circumstances of the killing and the conduct of the accused during the killing convince you beyond a reasonable doubt of the existence of premeditation at the time of the killing. Well, let's talk about why this is not manslaughter and why this is certainly not second-degree murder. Let's start with second-degree murder because that's the first of the lesser included. That comes right after first-degree murder and is then followed by manslaughter. And if you want to follow along with me with the jury instructions, you have them before you. If not, you can just listen to what I have to say. Second-degree murder has to be proven by the state beyond a reasonable doubt, and it has to prove the three following elements. Jennifer and Robbie Tower are dead. Yes, we know that. The death was caused by the criminal act of Dima Tower, their adopted child. There was an unlawful killing of Jennifer and Robbie Tower by an act imminently dangerous to another and demonstrating a depraved mind without regard for human life. Is that what happened? Of course it is. It goes on to say that an act includes a series of related actions arising from and performed pursuant to a single design or purpose. An act is imminently dangerous, it goes on to define, to another and demonstrating a depraved mind if it is an act or series of acts that a person of ordinary judgment would know is reasonably certain to kill or do serious bodily injury to another. 2, the act is done from ill will, hatred, spite, or evil intent. And 3, the act or actions are of such a nature that they indicate an indifference to human life. All of those are true. That's exactly what Dima Tower did. But in order to convict of second-degree murder, it is not necessary for the state to prove the defendant had an intent to cause death. That is what's missing from second-degree murder. Dima Tower had every intent to cause the death of both Robbie and Jennifer Tower. He told you so himself. Why isn't this manslaughter? To prove the crime of manslaughter, the jury instructions tell you, the state has to prove the following 2 elements beyond a reasonable doubt. First, Jennifer and Robbie Tower are dead. And second, Dima Tower intentionally committed an act or acts that caused the death of Jennifer Tower and Robbie Tower. What's missing? Premeditation. The jury instruction goes on to say that in order to convict of manslaughter by act, it is not necessary for the state to prove that the defendant had an intent to cause death. Only an intent to commit an act that was not merely negligent, justified, excusable, or which caused death. But we know from the defendant's own mouth that he had every intention to cause death. He told us so over and over and over again. So the lesser includeds are statutorily mandated to accompany the jury instructions on first-degree murder. But they do not rise, they don't even come close to describing or meeting the elements of what Dima Tower did to his parents on August 31st, 2023, when he sat in that car and thought about killing them, walked into his house, went into his bedroom, came out, grabbed the knife out of the kitchen, and walked into the bedroom and started stabbing his father. Because this is a clear-cut case of first-degree murder. So he talked to detectives on September 1st of 2023, and Detective St. Jean and Detective Chippendale asked him a number of questions. What did you think about last night? I don't like the situation. I don't like the people I'm with. So I'm just going to kill them. That's what he thought about before he killed his parents. That was his plan. You don't need a diagram. You don't need a journal with your thoughts written down. You don't need a flow chart. You don't need a bullet point list to premeditate the killing of your parents. All it takes is long enough time to reflect, to engage in reflective thought. And that's exactly what he did. I don't like the situation. I don't like the people I'm with, so I'm just going to kill him. Did you guys talk at all? And here, I think Detective Chippendale is referring to what happened when the defendant brought his mom back in from outside when she was trying to alert the neighbor and try to get some help. So the detectives asked, did you guys talk at all? Yeah, the defendant responded. I tried to talk to her. How did that conversation go? It was a monologue. So did you stab her already at that point? After I finished what I had to say. He's giving a monologue, talking to his mother in the house. Plenty of time for reflective thought. Again, during that interview that you watched, and I urge you, ladies and gentlemen, to watch it again. You'll have an opportunity to take the evidence, most of the evidence back with you, and you can listen to that videotaped and audio tape recording. It's available for you. So last night, you're sitting in your car, and you just came up with this, that you're going to do something now? The defendant said, no, it came before that. Detective says, after work? No, it was before that. I had those thoughts before yesterday. What, days, months? No, like recently. Reflective thought. Later on in the conversation, the detectives ask, was last night the first time you actually thought about killing your parents? No. And yesterday, the last question that I asked, when you were sitting in your car on August 31st, did you decide to kill your parents before you walked into the house? Yes.
What is the location of the emergency? It's not such an emergency anymore right now, but we have that 1200 Northcote Road in Northport. I'm trying to reach Northport police, and it keeps sending me up to this. Okay, so you got a police issue going on? No, I was upstairs in bed, and my daughter was sleeping downstairs, and someone screamed and banged on our door and rang the doorbell, screaming, I need help, I need help. It took me a second to register what was going on, and we were trying to find, I've been upstairs before we opened the door, and the person's gone. Okay, well, we'll connect you to Northport so we can check the area. Let me connect you to this. Okay, thank you. 911 was what?
And this is what law enforcement found when they got to Jonna Walton's house. A blood trail leading up to her home, and at her door, more blood dripping while she rang the doorbell and screamed for help. And as she was out there, the defendant wanted to finish what he started, so he let her back in the house. And then, after he finished what he started, he came outside, covered, according to Officer Regakis, with blood, and he just nonchalantly got in his car and drove away, covered with his parents' blood. He led the police on a chase for about a half an hour, even at one point endangering other people in the community by going into the northbound lane. And finally, when Sarasota County disabled his car with stop sticks, he ran into the woods. And we had Officer Regakis get on the stand and show you, trace out for you, the flight path of the defendant from way down in the southeastern corner of Northport City environs, all the way to I-75, south on I-75, and then he backtracked and drove all the way up to almost the very end of what this map shows in the upper left-hand corner, where he abandoned his car and fled into the woods. And this is what the crime scene and the detectives found at 1240 Malakote Road. This is the carnage that they found inside the house. Blood everywhere, on the door, in the foyer, on the furniture, on the walls, on Dima Tower's parents. And where this crime started, in the bedroom, where Mr. Tower was sound asleep next to his wife when the defendant attacked them while they were sleeping in their bed. And you can see the signs of struggle. Looks like Robbie Tower put up quite a fight as best as he could. You can see that there was a brief altercation over on that north wall, and again on the wall leading into the living room. Blood everywhere, but the defendant was determined to finish what he started. Even when he lost the first knife, he was determined to finish what he started. So he goes into the kitchen and grabs another knife, and then washes up afterwards. And this is a work product of Dima Tower. This is what he did to his father and to his mother because he didn't like them as people. You also heard testimony that the defendant was finally seen early the following morning after he had been at large for about 9 hours. He was captured on video at the Shell station around about 7:30 in the morning. He actually was blasé enough to walk into the Shell station and buy a bottle of tea. And finally, he was arrested shortly thereafter, around about 8 o'clock, when the Venice Police Department apprehended him, still at the Shell station. And this is what the defendant did to his mother. And I have not put up all the autopsy photos. I think you've seen enough autopsy photos and bloodshed. But this is what he did to his mother after he led her back in the house. Stabbed her multiple times in the face, the throat, and the back. And his father, mutilated to the point where Dr. Vega was able to count 6 separate and distinct perforations, incisions, whatever you want to call them, into Robbie Tower's trachea, his larynx. And you heard the testimony of Dr. Vega yesterday, who told you that the cause of death for Jennifer Tower was perforations of multiple small and large blood vessels, including her carotid artery and jugular vein. Same with Robbie Tower, perforations of multiple small and large vessels, including the carotid and subclavian arteries, due to multiple stab wounds. And Dr. Vega told you about the function of the carotid arteries and the jugular veins, how those are the major vessels that take the blood to the head and back down to the body. And that's where the defendant attacked his parents, in the most vulnerable, fragile places in the human body. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you to think about the jury instructions and what you heard on Monday about sympathy. You saw the defendant sobbing here in the courtroom. We had to actually take a break. I think it was on Wednesday during the defense's opening statement. And then again yesterday when the defendant took the stand. He put on quite a display of emotion.
Overruled. Let's move on from this, okay?
He put on quite a display of emotion. Hold him accountable for what he did. You may not have sympathy enter into your deliberations. Your job is to look at the evidence and see if the evidence comports with the law of first-degree murder. You may not have any sympathy for Robbie or Jennifer Tower or the defendant. And that's hard to ask human beings. And you may even have sympathy for all three of those people. But they cannot influence your decision. That cannot influence your decision. You have to compartmentalize that sympathy if you have any. Because the law says that you must judge the defendant on the evidence and the law. Hold him accountable for what he did, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Will you tell us your full name and spell your last name?
Michael Burgoon, B-U-R-G-O-O-N.
And how do you know Robbie and Jennifer Tower?
Jennifer Tower is my sister, and of course Robbie was my brother-in-law.
Okay, and is Jennifer younger or older than you?
A couple years older.
A couple years older, so she was your big sister?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Would you like to talk to Judge Krug about how your life has been affected by the loss of your sister and brother-in-law?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I'd like to thank the court for allowing me to speak today. My name is Michael Burgoon. Jennifer Tower is my sister, and Rob Tower is my brother-in-law. For just over 2 years, I've had to try to process daily that my sister Jennifer and Rob are no longer here. Jennifer was much more than my sister. She was my #1 supporter and best friend. Growing up together, we would play video games, hang out on Venice Beach and Siesta Key, and often race go-karts at Pelican Pizza in Inglewood, or just simply hang out. As we grew older and moved on in life and got married daily, one of us would call the other or send a text just to say I love you. There wasn't anything I went through in life that I didn't reach out to her for her thoughts or her advice or how she thought I should handle it or what she may do if she was in my shoes. Even through my 20s to just over 2.5 years ago, I'd call her because I knew she would always answer the phone. And even if I didn't like what she would say, she would answer with honest and loving. I would also reach out to Rob daily. Rob was the very definition of what a brother-in-law is. We shared the same sense of humor. Jennifer would often get on us for acting like teenage boys. I would often call Rob just to get some advice from a guy's point of view or if he had a question about the Bible. Rob had a very vast knowledge of it and would talk to me, or if I was struggling with something, he would often tell me a verse in the Bible that dealt with what I was going through and would help. Rob was the person who officiated my second wedding. There has been no greater hurt or pain in life than losing them. There isn't a second of the day that goes by that I don't think about them. Nobody should have to go through the hurt, emotional burden, grief, and just loss of direction in life that losing them has caused. They were the true north and the compass of my life. They were full of so much love, not only with me and their family. Jennifer loved our 2 older sisters, Lori and Lisa, and her mother, Cindy, and her son. Rob always spoke about the love for his parents and family and the love he had for his son. Our lives were much better because they were in ours. Sadly now, because of the events of October 31st, 2023, they were selfishly taken from our families. That void can never be filled, and for me personally, going through 2 counseling professionals still has not helped me out. Daily, I feel a pain and hurt that can't be described. I want to believe that they're just busy, and any second, my phone will ring and I'll hear that, "Hey, Michael, what's up, brother?" that Jennifer would so lovingly say, knowing full well that that night, hearing that will never happen again. It's an emotional trauma that for the rest of my life, I'll have to work through and try to process with the help of counseling and family because it's not something that will go away. I hope and pray that today brings some closures for our families. Grief is a journey with no time limit. And Jennifer and Rob, I love you and will live daily to honor your memory. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
They was about to applause that nigga.
Rich Pollock.
They got one single clap. Just one clap, one single one.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pollock.
Good afternoon.
Will you tell us your full name and spell your last name?
Richard Pollock, Pollock.
Will you tell Judge Krug how Robbie and Jennifer were part of your life?
Yes. I wrote a brief statement. At the beginning of this trial, we were told and we heard that the defendant say that this was all an act of rage. By saying so, he may feel that this helps to alleviate his responsibility in some way, but it doesn't. What he calls rage is nothing more than a pitiful attempt at an excuse to try to explain away the atrocities that he committed. This wasn't rage. This is all the result of a series of calculated decisions that he made that night. Robbie and Jennifer Tower, or as we affectionately called them, Rob and Jen Towerski, or Robbie and Miss Jen to our girls, had a huge impact, not only on mine and my family's lives, but countless people here and around the world that they ministered to and shared the love and teachings of Christ with. Rob and Jen were show-up people. The people that showed up to help and weren't afraid to get dirty or put in the work to help a friend or anyone really. They were people who loved fully, and we loved them for it. It was Rob and Jen who showed up to teach my daughter Gigi to ride a bike when I couldn't. It was Rob who showed up to put my Christmas lights up after I fell off the roof and Jen volunteered him to. The list goes on. They had a light in them that burned brightly for Christ, for each other, and for people. They were truly the people who would give you the shirt off their backs if you needed it and expected nothing in return, and not just their shirts. I remember them once giving one of their cars to a family that needed it. That's who they were. They offered the same gift to Dima, a gift of agape love. They gave, and he took and took. He was unwilling to receive it unless it was on his terms. He says he holds in such high esteem the way of life in Ukraine and that the man should rule over his family with some sort of an iron fist and that his wife must be subservient to him. But I would like to remind him in the court that the same way of life relegated him ending up in an orphanage where no one cared. As he put it, a nobody from nowhere. Rob and Jennifer chose to put Christ first and to love him above each other, but then to love each other above all and second only to that. They treated each other equally after only God and each other. They chose to love Dima and to bring him into their lives. They wanted to make him a somebody and gave him their name. I remember they were so excited. I remember how proud Rob was when Dima first became an American citizen. So many things that he did that he was so proud to be able to share that his son accomplished. But Dima didn't see it that way. If it wasn't his way and exactly the way he wanted or perceived it to be, he didn't want it or it was wrong. This wasn't just an issue that he had with Rob and Jen. He had problems with authority at school and rules. He couldn't handle it if another kid had got attention and took out his anger on those younger and smaller than he was. He's a coward. He showed it when he beat up on little kids, and he showed it the night that he made the choice to brutally murder Rob and Jen while they were asleep because he was too afraid to face them awake. He made a series of choices that night that changed the world for so many of us. There were multiple times that he could have stopped, but he made the choice to continue this brutality. He said he decided to kill them when he was sitting out in his car for no real reason. Even in his video statements, he said that they never hurt him. He simply didn't like them or had hatred in his heart. He could have made the choice to drive away that night, but he didn't. He went inside. He stated that he went in his room and drank and thought about it some more. He could have stopped then, but he didn't. He walked into the kitchen and picked up a knife. He still could have stopped, but he didn't. He continued into their bedroom. He stated they were asleep and it was dark. Again, he could have stopped and left, but he didn't. Instead, he brutally began stabbing my precious friend. The man who gave up everything for him, and the man that was like the older brother that I never had. In this struggle, he also stabbed Jennifer. These two people who loved each other so much, and him as well. Sometime during this attack, he lost the knife, and Jennifer was able to get out and try to get help. He could have stopped then, but he chose not to. Instead, he went in the kitchen and retrieved another knife to, in his words, finish what he started. He then made sure he had taken all the life out of poor Rob. Again, he could have stopped, but he chose to go out and find Jennifer. He then forced her back in the house where he forced her to listen to his rantings. Again, he could have stopped, but instead he chose brutality, again in his own words, to finish what he started. Now he truly gets to finish what he started. When he killed our precious friends and robbed this world of the love and light that they shared. For the rest of his life, he will be a nobody whose name means nothing. Instead, he will be assigned a number due to his own actions and be forced to suffer this alone, more than likely without any visitors. He killed the only two people in this world who would have been there for him. He has to live with that for the rest of his life, and I pray that one day he will accept that responsibility for his actions and repent and accept Christ into his heart. That's all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Pollack. Careful stepping down. Okay,
Thank you.
Would you like to talk to Judge Krug?
Yes, please.
Tell us your full name and spell your last name.
Talitha Pollack, Pollock.
Would you like to talk to Judge Krug?
Yes, please. I tried to read something too. Probably not as good at it as my husband.
Take your time. There's no rush.
When we first met Jen and Rob, we became fast friends. We met them serving at church, and the next thing you know, we were doing everything together. Our now grown daughters were young at the time and absolutely adored them. If you're a parent, you know that it's really important who you leave your kids with. And my husband and I take that very seriously. We don't let them do sleepovers or things like that at anybody's house. But we trusted the Towers, which is like putting them like at such a high level, you know, to trust them to keep our kids. So when my husband and I would go on mission trips to South America, we would leave our girls with them, and they had a blast. They loved going to Robbie and Miss Jen's house. We, without hesitation, trusted them. They were amazing, and they were also amazing with any other kids they ever came in contact with. They served in church with like the kids ministry. They would really serve anywhere anybody asked them to because they never said no, and the kids loved them. Losing Jen and Rob has been a huge loss, not just for the families and the friends, but for countless individuals and also our community. They always had the best smiles, and they never said no to helping anyone in need, but they also never wanted any recognition. They did it because they just wanted to. I only know because I saw them in action countless times when they thought nobody was looking. We'd be doing a food drive at church. They didn't just bring in a handful of cans or something from their pantry. They'd go grocery shopping at Publix and bring in multiple bags. If they found out someone had a need, whether they knew them or not, that they could meet, they would jump right in and do it. When we first met them, they were young professionals and could go on luxury vacations if they wanted to, but instead they spent both their vacation time and all their resources on mission trips to Russia and the Ukraine. They had a love for the Ukrainian people. And so I was not completely surprised when Jen told me about Dima. She beamed. I can promise you that she could not have loved you more, Dima, than if she gave birth to you herself. She loved him so much. I have children that I have given birth to, and I have children that I've adopted. You love them the same, and Jen loved him just like she gave birth to him. She loved Unconditionally, you were a nobody from nowhere, but two amazing people from somewhere came to save you. What you did by repaying them, by cowardly killing them because you don't like rules, authority, or you can't handle consequences. You decided our country is a crap hole, in your own words, and you wanted to go back to the Ukraine. I think of all the kids in orphanages that would be grateful to be brought here and given the life that you were. But not you. You were only grateful when you were getting what you wanted. I think it's ironic now that hopefully he can spend the rest of his measly existence in a prison in the land that he hates so much. The truth is that he was used to picking on and beating up anyone smaller than him. He couldn't do that with Rob. Rob was bigger, but he wasn't violent at all. Rob could maybe hold him back. So he waited till they were asleep. And like a thief in the night, you snuck in and you started your evil rampage. My daughters miss Jen and Robbie so much. I miss Jen. I miss Rob too, but I miss Jen more than words. She had the most beautiful smile, the kindest heart, a great laugh. And one thing no purely evil thief in the night could steal are all the memories that they gave us. That's all.
Thank you, Ms. Pollock.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The state calls Lisa Huff.
solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but
To the judge, would you? Miss name and last name, and spell your last name.
My name is Lisa Huff. My last name is Huff.
Thank you. And will you tell us how you know Jennifer and Robbie Tower, please?
Jennifer is my youngest sister. Robbie is my brother-in-law.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome. Take me a minute. Okay. I had to type mine out just today, so I'm just going to go ahead and read it. Your Honor, thank you for allowing me to speak today. I can't begin to express the depth of loss and pain that this tragedy has brought to our family and all who knew and loved Rob and Jennifer. They were two of the most wonderful people you could ever meet. My sister Jennifer was the most loving, caring, and compassionate person. Even when she was struggling, she had a wonderful sense of humor and a strong faith and belief in God. I was blessed to have her as my youngest sister and thankful for all the good memories we shared together. Rob was also an awesome person and was always willing to lend a helping hand. He was also a fun-loving guy and had a great sense of humor. Rob and Jennifer did all they could to help Dima have a better life. No, they were not perfect, but no one is. There was absolutely nothing they did to deserve being brutally murdered and so carelessly and senselessly ripped out of the lives of my family and everyone else who knew and loved Rob and Jennifer. I will never understand or comprehend what drove Dima to commit such a heinous act against two of the people who gave him or gave so much of themselves and did all within their power to give him a better life. I guess evil simply cannot be understood. As a Christian, I know that the Bible commands me to forgive Dima. That is something I will have to fully rely on God's help and strength to do. I can't do it on my own. Dima has shown no remorse for his actions and has been said that he may not have the capacity to do so. Though some may not understand, I pray that Dima will one day feel the weight and guilt of what he has done and ask for God's forgiveness. By saying this, by no means am I stating that Dima should not be held accountable and pay for his actions. He definitely should be. His horrible actions against Rob and Jennifer demand justice. However, as Rob and Jennifer were also Christians, I believe that this is what they would want for Dima, even though he did what he did to them. Though some may not agree with me or understand, as a Christian, I believe that even in horrific tragedies such as these, that God would want something good to come out of them. It is my firm belief that Rob and Jennifer would want Dima to ask for forgiveness and join them in heaven one day. Although it seems impossible in our eyes as human beings, I pray and have faith that this can happen. Although I am still angry and sad for what has happened, it is my belief that God died for all sins, including the ones committed by Dima on that terrible day in August of 2023. Dima is my nephew, and though mine and my family's lives will never be the same, part of me still cares for him. I pray he will make the right decision and ask God for forgiveness for what he has done. Once again, I believe this is what Rob and Jennifer would have wanted for Dima. Thank you again for giving me the chance to speak, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Hunt.
Thank you.
Thank you. Your Honor, I'm going to read a statement from Jennifer's other sister, Lori Ely, who's here present in the courtroom, and then we have one final statement from Debbie Tower. So this is a statement from Ms. Ely, and it reads as follows. Her name is Lori, last name Ely. Your Honor, thank you for allowing me to speak on behalf of my sister, Jennifer, her husband, Rob, and our grieving family. No words can fully capture the depth of loss and devastation that this crime has caused us. Jen and Rob were two of the most generous, hopeful, and loving people I have ever known. Their greatest dream was to build a family. After years of struggling to have children, they made the selfless decision to adopt. Their Christian missionary work in Ukraine inspired them to open their hearts to a child in need, and they welcomed their son Dima into their home with love. Adoption was not easy. It was emotionally, financially, and spiritually very demanding. They emptied their savings, they took loans, and they relied on the kindness of others to make their dream of parenthood possible. Despite every challenge, they remained deeply committed to giving Dima a stable, nurturing home and every opportunity to thrive. I have never seen my sister as happy as she was when Dima arrived. She was radiant, excited, fulfilled, and hopeful about motherhood. Rob shared her joy, and together they dedicated themselves to building a loving family. They celebrated milestones, faced setbacks, and consistently placed Dima's welfare and well-being above their own. Their commitment to him never wavered. Their journey, however, was extraordinarily difficult. They worked tirelessly to support Dima through anger, defiance, and destructive behavior. They sought help for him, guidance, and healing. They endured emotional and physical harm while trying to help him overcome his struggles. Even in the face of rejection and escalating violence by Dima, they continued to try because they were driven by love, faith, and the belief that every child deserves a chance. Despite their extraordinary efforts, Jen and Rob's lives were taken from them in a violent, senseless manner. The pain of losing them is indescribable. Their death shattered our family and left a void that can never be filled. My sister's warmth, kindness, and optimism are gone. Rob's humor, steadiness, and generosity are now only memories. We never had the chance to say goodbye. What I wouldn't give for one more conversation, one more holiday together, or just one more hug. Every day I'm confronted by reminders of what was stolen from us. I lost two of my closest friends. My faith in the goodness of people has been shaken. I now live with symptoms of PTSD. I return to work while simultaneously navigating the unimaginable task of settling my sister's estate, repeatedly explaining their deaths to banks, to creditors, mailing their death certificates, and reliving the trauma each time I read their names on those documents. I had to walk through their home and sort through the pieces of their lives. I found my sister's wedding dress. I found hundreds of photos of their lives together and two people deeply in love.
He over there like, breathing like, damn, can you hurry up? This is my case. Why you spending all your time trying to get in my spotlight? Hurry up. I'm ready to go back to prison. I don't recall none of that.
I don't supposed to be here. I don't recall none of that. All I recall is going back to prison.
Those moments broke me. The grief is relentless. I will never be the same person I was before, and no therapy or counseling will ever fully mend what has been taken. Jen and Rob's deaths touched more than just our family. Their community lost two people defined by selflessness and generosity. They opened their home and their hearts not only to Dima, but to many others. As Christians, they lived their faith through quiet acts of love and compassion. Their reward for this kind of selflessness was a brutal death at the hands of the child they devoted their lives to. I can't escape the tormenting thoughts of their final moments. How frightened and betrayed they must have felt. Our family is left to carry the weight of this tragedy every day, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Holidays, family gatherings, and even small joys are marked by their absence. Your Honor, as you consider sentencing, I ask that you remember who Jennifer and Rob were. Decent, selfless people who dedicated themselves to giving a vulnerable child a better life. They believed in second chances and in the power of love. Their lives were taken in a horrific way, and the hole left in our hearts will never be filled. Since their deaths, I have tried to understand how Dima could have committed such a crime. I am not an expert, but I have learned about psychopathy and antisocial personality disorder. I do not know whether he was born this way or shaped by trauma. In many ways, the situation is a tragedy for everyone, including him. I believe my sister would have forgiven him. But forgiveness does not erase danger. From what I have come to understand about psychopathy, it cannot be cured. If Dima were ever released, I firmly believe that he is a risk to society and that he would harm or kill again. While compassion and faith may allow us to pity his past, society also has a responsibility to protect others from someone like him who demonstrates violence, lacks empathy, and cannot regulate dangerous impulses. For the safety of the public and in honor of Jennifer and Rob, I ask that you impose a sentence that ensures no other family will face the pain we endure every day. Thank you, Your Honor.
Where is Laura? Well said.
Finally, the state would call Debbie Tower, please. Can you tell us your full name and spell your last name?
Debbie Tower. T-O-W-E-R.
Would you like some water?
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. Robbie was my son. Robbie was my son. And Jennifer was my daughter-in-law. And I can't. What he took away from us is beyond what you can imagine, because Robbie was my friend, my son. He thought he was the father of my other two kids. He helped raise them. And then when my daughter died, we were left with two little boys, and he helped raise them. He acted like their father, and he did everything with them, and he took them places, and he took care of them. And he could not have ever been a better father than he was to my boys, his his nephews, and him. He spoiled him. He did everything that he could. And Jennifer, and the two of them did everything to make him happy. And every time something would happen, they would fix it. And I just want people to know that he wasn't neither one of them were a bad parent. They were excellent. They couldn't do enough to take care of our children. Now my boys want to know, where's Robbie? And I can't explain it to them because they don't understand heaven. And I'm sorry, this is so hard. I just wanted people to know that they both were good. They were good to him. He can't say things that aren't true. And he really was good to everybody, and I miss him so much. I'm so sorry. I just want people to know how good they were. I brought them with me so they could see what we're doing for them. He destroyed so many people. I just don't know how he can live with himself. And you're going to have to think about this for the rest of your life, what you did. You didn't just murder Robbie and Jen, you murdered all of us. That's all I can say. I can't say any more.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Tower. Be careful getting down.
There are no further statements, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Can we put up do we have a second podium in here? You don't need to plug it in, but can you bring one in? Mr. Gilman, do you have anybody that wishes to speak from the defense?
The defendant would like to address the Your Honor.
Okay. Does he want to take the witness stand and speak?
I don't mind.
Okay, wait, I'm sorry?
I don't mind taking the witness stand.
Okay. Let me just make sure you understand. I'm not going to allow any disparaging comments related to Robbie and Jennifer Tower. Do you understand that?
What do you mean?
I don't want a single negative comment or disparaging, meaningful, harmful contact.
There will be no such words.
Okay.
There will be only the historic.
Mr. Gilman, have you spoken to him at all about what he wishes to say?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Can you please explain to him what I just ordered? I will not permit Robbie and Jennifer to be disparaged.
He said no. Hold on. You ain't talk to him at all about what he gonna say when he get on his, ain't you his lawyer? He said, no, Your Honor. You ain't talk to him at all?
In any way in this courtroom.
I understood what you said. I will only tell our story. I will be rational. I will be making sense. I'm not gonna be speaking meaningless words that have no reason to say.
This is an opportunity for you to show remorse, if you have any, to apologize if you wish to and it's sincere, and to express your gratitude for the opportunity that Robbie and Jennifer gave you if you wish, to apologize to the family and the community for which you tore apart and destroyed. This is that opportunity. Do you understand that, Mr. Tower?
I understand.
And the opportunity is limited to that. Do you understand?
I understand.
Okay. All right, let's have the defendant take the witness stand, please.
I'm sure he did, but why he say no? The judge asked him, have you talked to him about his speech at all? He said no. No, I haven't, Your Honor.
You want to assist?
I'll do what I can. Can you please just state your name for the court?
Dima Tower.
And given what the court has talked to you about, what is it that you want Judge Fruit to know prior to imposing a sentence?
What I have to say is our feelings block out our intellect, so I must ignore the irrational testimonies I heard about the life that I had with adopted parents of mine, and prior to that, I must only speak the truth. However, I've been told that I have limited time, and there's much to say that I expect these adults to understand me talking to them as adults to adults. I had 2 years and 2 months of dwelling on this, and the conclusion I have come to is not only that everything evolves around God, that we must understand that we live in an unmanly world, and what this means is.
Mr. Tower, I'm not concerned about what world you believe in. Do you wish to offer an apology and remorse to the victims?
Yes, I am. I'm getting to that. Yes.
Right, cut right to it. I don't want to hear what world you think you live in.
Well, I'm going to cut right to it.
Thank you.
The remorse that I have for my adopted parents is, it might be unshown. That doesn't mean it's not felt. Because when I committed these acts of crime, I lost my mind, and somebody might think that I knew what I was doing. I did not know what I was doing. It was.
Now, do you wish to offer an apology?
I am on offer an apology. I'm explaining an apology. I'm explaining an apology. I'm in the middle of an apology. Apology is that the truth is that there are a lot of fatherless children out there, and my apology in this is that nobody want to be held accountable for their actions, and I'm being held accountable for the actions of grown men. So my apology is that I have to be responsible for what Oscar did to his children and what Phil did to his children. And how can I apologize for the mistreatment that Oscar, as a stepfather.
All right, I'm going to have the defendant removed from the stand. He's choosing not to give an apology. I'm sorry to the family in the courtroom. I wanted to give an opportunity for you to have to hear from the defendant, to perhaps hear an apology and remorse. I think that is not forthcoming.
That is not forthcoming. So just real quick before we get up out of here, let's go over here real quick. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate y'all, family. Let's wrap this thing up with the verdict. End it on off with the verdict reading.
Jury will now go off and deliberate on.
Sir,
settle down. You have to go deliberate. I don't need to deliberate. Hang that nigga now. I got the rope right here.
Into the story much later, at a trial often, or at a sentencing hearing. I can tell you that the role of a judge is very difficult sentencing most days. I anguish over sentencing decisions I have to make. I do it on a daily basis, 5 days a week, handling all types of different cases, and have to make decisions as to whether someone goes to jail or not, or goes to prison or not, and if so, how long. And I think you can imagine in many cases, most cases, that can be difficult. You see the human compassion in people, and you see mistakes can be made. Today, obviously, is not one of those days for me. Sentencing today is very easy, and I think it was Miss Lisa Huff, or actually no, it might have been Laura Ely, I'm not sure, maybe both, who had great insight in their statements that there's a role that the court has, and that is to punish and also to provide for the safety of the community. What I enjoyed this afternoon was, even though it was brief, learning about the terrific lives that this, I'm going to call them Robbie and Jennifer, lived. They seemed, and many of you used these words, that they were selfless. Some of you said that they gave the shirt off their back for others. They ministered to children and others, going as far as Ukraine and Russia to help those in need in South America. They were babysitters. They were a happy husband and wife. They were children to the parents we heard from, brothers, aunts, uncles. They just really seemed like terrific people. And it is a shame that in this great country that we live in, that we lost two shining stars. I hope that, and one of you mentioned this, that they live on in your hearts, in your memory. And I hope you realize that. I know you do. The grief, the anger will continue for time. But I hope you cherish, and I know you will, those memories, and lean on each other and the love and support of your family, and celebrate what seems to be amazing lives of two great people. And they can be beacons for how you teach your children and how you continue to move on. Mr. Tower, I don't know what else to say. You seem to be an evil spirit, an evil person.
Evil spirit because you're talking foolish.
Who doesn't seem to have any...
Evil spirit.
You seem to be an evil spirit, an evil person.
Evil spirit because you're talking foolish.
Who doesn't seem to have any...
I'm full of remorse. I'm not showing it because...
I will at this time, Mr. Tower, sentence you as to count one. This is for first-degree murder of, count one was Robbie, is that right?
Yes.
Of Robbie Tower. I will sentence you to life in prison. You will serve the rest of your life in prison without the possibility of parole. Count two, and often I do run them concurrent. I know that the defense requested that. We have a unique and clearly a special life in Jennifer Tower as well. And I spoke about that earlier. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty of count two, first-degree premeditated murder on Jennifer Tower. I will run this sentence consecutive to count one. I will sentence you, Mr. Tower, to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Count three, the fleeing or attempting to elude law enforcement with lights and sirens. I'll adjudicate you guilty. Let's see, this is what degree felony? State third. Sentence you to the maximum of 5 years in prison to run concurrent with count two. I will order that you have no contact whatsoever with Robbie and Jennifer's family, aunts, uncles, cousins, nephews, parents, siblings. I will order restitution and reserve as to the amount. I'll order as a civil judgment against you court costs, a prosecutor fee and public defender fee of $100 each.
Are there any other statutory terms that I'm leaving out? State?
No, Your Honor, but I do have a score sheet for count three, which is the only count that requires a score sheet.
Mr. Gilman, anything I left out? No, All right, Mr. Tower, you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of this court. If you cannot afford an attorney for that appeal, one will be appointed to represent you.
What about the truth?
Good luck to everyone.
Court, if you cannot afford an attorney for that appeal, one will be appointed to represent you.
What about the truth?
Good luck to everyone. Court will be adjourned.
Well, I guess that's about it for Dima Tower. He'll be in the jail for the rest of his life, plus another life after that, the double life. Appreciate y'all being here, family. Much love, much love. That's about it for tonight. You know what I'm talking about?
The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
What?
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us. You know what I'm talking about. Shout out to our stream sponsor, Quintus Trower. Appreciate you, family. Appreciate the support. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Well, it's been good, fam. Trakisha, I see you. Appreciate you, fam. No One, what up, though? Appreciate you. Rock Solid TV, appreciate you. Ali, appreciate you. Much love. Indigo Kepra, much love. Appreciate you. I Am Shout, much love. Appreciate you, fam. Let's see. NJB Nay. Aubrey Ya, appreciate you. Rock Solid TV. Shout out to our stream sponsor of the day. It's been a good one. And so we will be going live tomorrow night on Rock Solid on Kick. Come check us out on Kick. You know what I'm talking about? My bad, I'm doing a lot of clicking over here. I think I got everything. No, appreciate y'all. Just getting it all together, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that was a crazy trial though. That was a crazy trial. I'm glad we covered it, because I didn't even know. I just happened to play that by accident. So I was like, yo, we might have to get into this. Trakisha too was like, yo, what's up? We might have to check this out. Shout out to Chan, My Black is Golden. Always a stream sponsor. And shout out to all y'all. There go the link right there. Shout out to No One in the description. Check us out on Kick tomorrow night at about 8 PST. About 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I think that's like what, 10 o'clock Eastern? I don't know, man. You know, I don't know all that stuff. I mean, I know, but shit, I don't know. It change every day. No, but I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. We getting up out of here. I just want to switch this one screen right here, and then we can get up out of here. There we go. Appreciate y'all, family. And other than that, y'all have a great night. Shout out to everybody. Much love, family. Stay fresh and stay blessed. Peace out. See y'all tomorrow, possibly.
Have a good night. Have a good night. Have a motherfucking good ass night.
market shit. You ain't on rock solid TV? Market shit. You ain't on rock solid TV? Market shit. You ain't on rock solid TV? Market shit. You ain't on rock solid